coin? It has come down as tails. Babar bhai, you have won the toss. What have you decided?
I'll go for bowling first.
And you had to think about that a little bit. What's the game plan here?
The game plan is simple, because I've been seeing, their strength. Last time, they scored 242 and chest down. So that's the plan on my think tank. So that's the main reason only.
Any changes to the playing 11 for tonight?
Yeah, Furkan is out due to, like a health issue. So Dawood Ijaz is in. Yeah, one change only.
Best of luck for the game, Babar.
Thank you so much.
हाफिज भाई अनफॉर्चुनेटली आप टॉस हार गए हैं, आपकी बैटिंग आ गई है, लेकिन अगर आप टॉस जीतते तो फिर क्या करते?
जी ऑफ कोर्स मैं भी बॉलिंग ही करता पहले, क्योंकि डू फैक्टर थोड़ा रहता है, तो इसके लिए बॉलिंग पे जाते। मसला नहीं है, करेंगे बैटिंग, अच्छा टारगेट सेट करेंगे।
और बैटिंग आपकी फॉर्म में भी है। 240 आप लोगों ने लगाए थे उस दोपहर वाले मैच में, अनफॉर्चुनेटली चेस हो गए।
जी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, वो तो स्कोर किया था, वो चला गया मैच। अभी इंशाल्लाह कोशिश करेंगे ज़्यादा बड़ा टारगेट करने की। आज बॉलर 2 इन किए हैं, तो इंशाल्लाह पकड़ेंगे।
क्या तब्दीलियाँ टीम में?
वकास अहमद आया और सैफुल्लाह नूर इन किया, तो फास्ट बॉलर।
बेस्ट ऑफ लक फॉर द गेम, हाफिज भाई। Right then, news from the centre is that Karwan Cricket Club have won the toss and they have elected to bowl first. Let's head back to the comm box.
Thank you, Ahmed. And the news from the centre is Karwan CC's captain Babar Iqbal has won the toss and opted to field first. And looking at the team lineup, Karwan CC, Babar Iqbal, the captain, Khamar Awan, Mauzam Hayat, Zahid Ali, Sardar Behzad, Shiraz Ahmed, the left-arm fast bowler, Salman Salim, Ghulam Murtaza, a talented all-rounder, Amir Hamza, Dawood Ejaz and Tariq Mahmood. And Gallian Cricket Club, Mohammad Hafiz Kaleem, the captain, Safir Tariq, wicket-keeper, Israr Ahmed, Mudassir Ali, Hafiz Afridi, Sandeep Singh, Amjad Gul, Ehsan Shah, Saifullah Noor, Waqas Ahmed and Sohaib Randhawa. And in the meantime, I got alongside me, it's none other than Ahmed Khwaja himself. Welcome to Combox.
Thank you very much, Mudassir Ali. And yes, fascinating match. Match number 11 of the Arabian Cricket League. And two big sides, Karwan Cricket Club and Gallian. Gallian Cricket Club, of course, smashed 240 in the earlier game, but that got chased down by TVSL. And Karwan CC coming off a comfortable victory over Rajkot Thunders. So we're all set for the action to begin. It's going to be Shiraz Ahmed, left arm fast bowler coming in from the academy end. Slip in place for him already. And it's going to be Mohammad Hafiz Kaleem and Safir Tariq opening the innings for Gallian. In fact, pardon me, a surprise late change. It's going to be Sandeep Singh Sandy opening the innings for Gallian. Right then, correction for you. A late change in the batting order. It's Sandeep Singh opening the innings. Belligerent, big hitter of the ball. We know all about his quality. One of the most devastating openers in the UAE domestic scene. And it's going to be a big challenge for this man on screen. Shiraz Ahmed, left arm swing bowler, high quality. Has some stamina issues. He's had a lot of injury problems that he's had to overcome to continue at this level, but a very, very fine bowler indeed. Let's see what he can produce tonight. It's a greenish pitch. It's pitch number 2, a new deck here at the ICC Academy Oval 2. And the action is about to begin. Here we go. Big in-swinger, squeezed away to point. And Dawood Ijaz, another high-class player. Good to see him in the lineup for Karwan.
And that too with a new haircut. Dawood Ejaz looking handsome in this new look.
Very elegant, stylish player is Dawood Ijaz. I'm a big fan of his batting. And opening alongside Sandy, it's going to be Abdul Hafiz Afridi. Another big powerhouse with the bat in hand. In swinger, tucked into mid-wicket. And it's only going to be one. Gallian Cricket Club are underway.
Off the mark, Sandeep Singh Sandy. Shiraz Ahmed looking fitter than what we have seen him in Sharjah Stadium couple of months back, Ahmed.
Yeah, he's looking a lot trimmer. Certainly been working hard in the off-season. He's one of the UAE players who's had experience in franchise leagues, was part of the Bangladesh Premier League and LPL. Played at a very high level, very skillful. He's really become the complete bowler in the last 6 months or so. And a good pickup for Karwan. Squirted through mid-wicket, hits the gap. There's no deep square leg in place. So Kamarawan will have to clean it up, and Abdul Hafiz Afridi gets going with a double.
Typical Afridi kind of shot. Wanted to play somewhere else and the ball went somewhere else. So at the end, he got a couple of runs.
Well, are you speaking about Abdul Hafiz Afridi or Shahid Afridi?
No, I'm talking about Abdul Hafiz Afridi. If it was Lala, then definitely that ball would have gone out of the park.
But he's a good player to have in your side. Genuine all-rounder. Bowls 4 very good overs of medium fast as well. And when it's his day with the bat, he will win you a game. Cautious start for the man in black. This time he goes over mid-on and straight to his hands. Did not make a clean connection, and Ghulam Murtaza takes a sitter, and the first wicket is down for Gallian. Disappointing shot there from Abdul Hafiz Afridi. You know Shiraz Ahmed will swing the ball in to your pads. Just the bottom edge, and that's easy as picking daisies. GCC 3-4-1. Let's take a look at the replay of that wicket. Just a nothing shot in the end, to be quite honest. And an easy catch. New batter coming in is Sohaib Randhawa. Early into the piece. Only took 4 deliveries for Karwan to strike. Let's see if he can get going tonight. Has plenty of opportunities. But Karwan Cricket Club have a very good fast bowling attack, especially this man on screen. Oh, inside edge. He was looking for the swing, and he almost snuck through there. That's a brilliant start to his match, Shiraz Ahmed. And you can see the body language has been transformed with that early wicket. They still have a lot of big name players in the side. Hafiz Kaleem himself is there. Waheed Ahmed is a very good player. And of course, Sandeep Singh Sandy. They're missing the services of Osman Khan tonight. He's been in brilliant form. So he will certainly be a loss in the playing 11. Struck on the pads, big appeal. But umpire Zargham says no. It's sliding down leg. Mudassir, what do you reckon?
Not at all convinced. The most important man, Zargham. And a loud appeal turned down at the end of over number 1. Score moves to 4. And way down, going down the leg side. Very nice, good decision, I would say, by Zargham. And after 1, it's 4 for the loss of 1 wicket, GCC.
Another left arm swing bowler, Salman Salim, will be coming in from the school end, and he tends to swing the ball away from the right-hander. Just like that, just like that. What a beauty to start. 2 slips in place for him. That just shows you how much confidence Babar Iqbal has in him, Mudassir.
A new recruit in this team, and look at that field. First slip, second slip, and there's a flying. There's a gully, point, all are in that catching area.
Yeah, this is good, positive intent. Oh, big swish across the line. Attempted run out there. I think that might be Muazzam, if I'm not wrong. I could be wrong. But you can see he's getting a lot of movement in the air with that new white seed. Excellent bowling.
Yes, it was Mozam Hayat. A wild swing nowhere near the ball.
Yeah, I really like the wrist position there from Salman Salim. That flick puts back spin on the ball, and then you get that movement, the rotations on the ball.
Oh,
Another pacey delivery, but a no ball. Well, that's something you cannot do in limited overs cricket, Mudassir. Step over the line.
unnecessarily overstepping here, trying to generate that space with the swing, and no ball has been considered. And the good thing is it's Sohaib who will be facing the free hit delivery, and he doesn't look dangerous as of now.
That gully fielder, like you mentioned, has come even closer. It's Dawood Ijaz posted there. And bottom edge on the free hit there. It's missed out. And that will be frustrating, especially for someone like Sandy watching from the other end.
He needs to talk to him, just tell him to rotate the strike, just put the bat on the ball. And
these 6 overs of power play are very, very precious indeed. And of course, you can watch all of the action of the Arabian Cricket League on CricTracker on YouTube, the ICC Academy Facebook page, and of course Fan Code in India. Another peach of a delivery. He's just not getting close to them here, Mudassir. This is fantastic swing bowling.
I have never watched this lad in domestic circuit. Have you seen his batting in Sharjah Stadium or in some other tournaments? Sohaib Randhawa.
He's a new name for me as well. Always exciting to see a new batter on the domestic scene. The technique looks alright, but the shot selection, well, he's not comfortable against the swinging ball at all. And you can see that greenish mat in front of him. Plays on the batsman's mind. Stepping out and missing it once again. This is very consistent bowling from Salman Salim.
Bowling on the same area and completely misses out once again. Sohaib Randhawa struggling out. Yet to open his account, faced 8 deliveries, Ahmed.
Yeah, he needs to play with a lot straighter bat. Try to glide the ball rather than look to smash it over cow corner. The percentages don't favor you with that shot selection, and it would be a virtual maiden apart from that free hit from Salman. Short ball, very late on it, and the umpire has given it as a wide. I did feel that height was an issue, so he was not that tall.
Trying to finish the over with the bouncer, rightly called by leg umpire Zargam. The worst for Sandeep and GCC would be from the last ball, Sohaib takes the single and rotates the strikes, and then it will be really tough for GCC to make a good start in the power play. Almost 8 deliveries so far faced by Sohaib and just 2 by Sandeep Singh Sandy.
Not playing at that one, and that will conclude a very, very good over from Salman Salim. 6 for 1 at the end of 2 overs. Shiraz Ahmed continues from the academy end. It's been a solid start by the Karwan opening bowlers, getting that ball to swing, asking the right questions. Sandy with that leg glance. It's running away for 4 to fine leg. That's a beautiful shot.
Just drifting down towards the leg side, and the first boundary of this inning, Sandeep Singh Sandy.
Well, he's a gentleman who doesn't like to waste any time. He gets on with the game. It's his way or the highway. And he's consistent as well. He's just not a hitter. Trying to work that way through the offside, catching the inner half of the bat. That's that late swing that Shiraz Ahmed is getting.
And he's known to get the ball in for the right hand batters, the danger man Sandeep Singh Sandy. Today the responsibility is on his shoulders because Usman Khan is unavailable. The bulk of the scoring in the last match was done by Usman Khan. So they are missing the services of Usman Khan in this match, GCC Stallions.
This time it was going across Sandeep, but played very, very correctly. Kept his eye on the ball and played it as late as possible. That's the key against someone who can swing the ball. You have to wait till the very last moment to decide your stroke. They also have the likes of Mohammad Hafiz Kaleem and Safir Tariq in their batting lineup. So it's a pretty decent side. Amjad Gul, big striker of the ball as well. But it's been a sedate start. Usually we see very explosive batting in the power play. Big scores, 180, 200, easily posted here. Once again, played off the back foot. Excellent bowling from Shiraz Ahmed.
After that, for bowling on those tight lengths, and Sandeep Singh Sandy unable to find a single or a boundary on next 3 deliveries. A very good comeback by Shiraz Ahmed, who has been playing for Maratha Arabians in Abu Dhabi T10. A very handy bowler for Maratha Arabians.
Yeah, he's a bowler of serious pedigree. That's been recognized by scouts drafting for franchise leagues all over the place. Slapped through mid-wicket and straight to the fielder Amir Hamza. Well, there was only one man at mid-wicket and Sandy has found him. Unlucky dismissal.
Poor shot selection by Sandeep Singh Sandy. The only fielder stationed at short mid-wicket played straight into the hands of Amir Hamza. 2 big guns back the hut, Sandeep Singh Sandy, and earlier it was Hafiz Afridi. After 2.5 score 10 for the loss of 2 wickets.
So it's the captain, Mohammad Hafiz Kaleem, former UAE international player, coming in at number 4. Another big striker of the ball, tall, strapping lad. But it will require a different kind of innings from him tonight. He needs to show some quality, some guts, fight it out there. And Shiraz Ahmed is in the mood. 2 wickets already. Oh, that could have gone anywhere, squeezed into the pads. A brilliant over comes to an end, 10 for 2 after 3. So Gallian Cricket Club in all sorts of trouble. And joining me in the comm box for the next fascinating passage of play, it's going to be Samir Yunus. Good evening, Samir.
Good evening, Ahmed. Good evening, everyone. Under the pump here, Gallian. It's been a brilliant start by the two left-armers. It's good stuff, isn't it? Watching the ball swing around, zip around like that under the lights here at ICC Academy. And they've hit the right lens today, Ahmed. That's the one thing that has brought them that success. The batters haven't been too sure whether to go front foot or back foot. Even the last wicket we saw of Sandy, he saw it full and almost got tempted to go for it because they haven't been given much. Unfortunately for him, it went straight to the hands. But this has been a good display. Some solid display of fast bowling.
Yeah, it was a shot born out of frustration. He'd been tied down. Bowling has been very disciplined on one side of the wicket. Took a chance on the leg side, was desperately unlucky. Meanwhile, Salman Salim continues to Sohaib. Inside edge, past the stumps. The good old-fashioned French cut.
Yeah, he needed that, didn't he, Sohaib? He's been around for a while now. 10 balls his face for nothing. And a start like that, maybe, just maybe something that was needed for him, just to get him going. Doesn't matter how they come, he'll say, as long as they keep coming.
Well, the problem is, I don't understand the shot selection there. You know the ball is swinging away from you. You're still playing a horizontal bat shot on the leg side. That's not good margins to work with. But he gets the boundary. And fishes at that one. Beaten outside off once again.
Yeah, he hasn't looked comfortable, Sohaib. He's been around now from the beginning, but hasn't looked himself, has looked completely out of touch. That's the one you were referring to. Not the shot to play when it's coming at you, away from you. You'd rather glide that towards the offside. But I guess when you've been there, when you've been rattled by the fast bowlers, your train of thought suddenly isn't in the best of order. Your ducks aren't in a row, as they say. And because of that, the shot selection isn't the most perfect.
You just have to ride out the storm, so to speak. That's a better shot, flick towards mid-wicket. See, that's what I'm saying. You can play the same region, but with a straighter bat. He timed it much better. He played it all along the carpet. And if he had missed the fielder, we would have had at least 2. So that's something he needs to work on for sure. You don't see a lot of swing bowlers in the UAE getting that ball to move that much. So I can see why he's just struggling a bit.
Conditions can change, formats can change, but the one thing every batting coach will tell you is to play the ball on its merits.
Absolutely. Around the wicket now. And look at that. He was miles late on that one. And Salman Salim has the ability to swing the ball away from the right-hander, even from around the wicket. That's a very unique skill.
Yeah, a lot of left-arm fast bowlers, you find them bringing it into the right-hander. That's their natural angle. But if you have that ability to be able to take it away from the right-hander, that outswinger, what's not something the right-hander batter will expect, that is a very special talent to have. And that way, you're going to trouble the batsman more often than not. This bowling spell by Salman has been, he may not be among the wickets, but it has been a brilliant spell by him.
Absolutely. Pulled away this time. And there's nobody at deep square. It will go one bounce over the rope, or is it a 6? Given as a boundary. So he's pretty decent on the short ball, that's for sure.
Yeah, he went for that glory ball, didn't he? We just talked about how he hasn't picked up a wicket yet. He thought maybe this is an opportunity for him. Good thing for the batsman there was that it went right up. Maybe if he hit it flat, it wouldn't have gone all the way there. Nevertheless, a much needed boundary for Karwan, for Gallian for that matter. 4 overs completed, 18 for 2.
So there's going to be a change in the bowling. It's going to be Zahid Ali, another swing bowler, this time of the right arm variety, coming on to bowl. Another excellent exponent of the art. He can get that ball to nip around both ways. A brilliant fielder as well. Another very good addition to the Karwan Cricket Club setup. And I think he will enjoy these bowling conditions, Samir.
Yeah, the captain might be motivated seeing what his other two fast bowlers have done. They've found movement, they've found pace, they've found bounce on this wicket. So why not throw the ball to your third seamer, Zahid Ali?
Solidly behind that. Chance for a run out here. And he's got him. Well, there was never a single there. The extra cover was standing very close. And Hafiz Kaleem has sold Sohaib Randhawa down the river. Run out for just 8 runs.
You say there was no run there, so I'm not sure how we can fault Kaleem for that. Sohaib just took off completely without even looking at his partner. Yes, you're right. Kaleem did take that start. And unfortunately for him, the fielder, with a good aim, a hit wicket, a direct hit rather, results in the wicket of Sohaib. His storied stay at the crease comes to an end, courtesy run out. 4.1. 18 for 2. 18 for 3.
New batter coming in is the wicketkeeper, Safir Tariq. 18 for 3. We're just in the 5th over. Disastrous start here for the men in black. And that was a self-inflicted wound there, Samir. A run out.
But a black and yellow on the ground tonight at this beautiful ICC Academy ground under lights. Safir Tariq is Gallian's new batter. They'll be desperate for him to have a partnership.
Oh, big swish at that one. It's gone through the keeper and the first slipper. They'll take that boundary. They'll certainly take it, no matter which way they come. Not a convincing shot from Hafiz Kaleem. Let's take a look. Oh, yes. That should have been caught, if I'm being a touch harsh, Samir.
There may be a first slip catch, but for a good wicket keeper, that's a regulation catch. Lucky there. Very lucky there, Hafiz Kaleem, but he'll want to play better shots than that if he wants to play a long innings here.
And they're missing their regular keeper, Furqan Khalil. It's very clean behind the stumps. So that could be a chance gone begging. Hafiz Kaleem gets that boundary to his name. Swiped across the line. Only to find Ghulam Murtaza at mid-on. He's another big strapping fast bowler. He'll enjoy these conditions.
Kaleem looks like that batter who doesn't have much of a bat lift. He just likes to go hard at it. Tall guy. We've seen him play quite a bit.
Yeah, he was part of the UAE squad for the 2014 Asia Cup, if I'm not wrong. Of course, your countrymen Sri Lanka once again causing us Pakistanis some heartaches there. Beating us in the final. Oh, had a dip at that one. Safir was looking to slash it behind point. Once again, that late movement in the air.
Yeah, the batter has struggled, haven't they? Clearly, under lights here, the ball zipping around. And the good thing that Karwan have done is that they've kept it in the right area. Sometimes we've seen so many times on these grounds, Ahmed, that despite that assistance that you get, the bowlers aren't able to be on that consistent line and length and not able to extract the best out of these tracks. But these fast bowlers here, Shiraz, Zahid Ali, all of them have done very well here to trouble the batters. Never let them settle. They'll want to continue doing that. Get a good start here for the bowling team. They've rattled the top order. They'll want to keep continuing that now.
23 for 3 currently. Oh, another Jaffa from Zahid Ali. That one just held its line. You can see they're very unsure outside their off stump. Amir Hamza has moved into that fly slip position. I really don't like that. Be at the orthodox first or second. This fly slip business, it never works, Amir.
Yeah, there's
Now he's moved. Well, he's still in that fly slip kind of a range, and it's just playing on my mind.
something that the captain sees, Ahmed, that you don't clearly. Let's find out if he comes into play though. Forward defense. They are respect for a good delivery. That's what they've done. They've earned the respect. These bowlers. A very good start by them. 5 overs done here. Gallian stuttering along at 23 for 3.
Salman Salim bowling his third over on the trot from the school end. Hafiz Kaleem, he is certainly being tested out there. This is superb bowling.
This is some very tight lines these bowlers are bowling here, and that's what you need, don't you, from your fast bowlers on a good track that offers assistance. You want them to be disciplined. You don't try too hard. Sometimes just good deliveries on that corridor of uncertainty on that off stump line, where the batter is unsure what to do, whether to get on the front foot or the back foot. It gets you wickets. Even in T20, it's a traditional way.
Completely agree. Well said. Around the wicket now, and look at that movement. It's going like a leg break right now for Salman Salim. This is one of the great exhibitions of swing bowling we are seeing here during the Arabian Cricket League.
You generally get that outswing from a right-handed bowler normally, but the more difficult part is when a left-hander is coming around the wicket and taking it away from you. The angle of the delivery, it's almost as if you feel like you have to play, you're compelled to play as right-hander. And it's at last moment when it starts angling away and you start thinking, oh my God, am I in trouble? 2 slips there, very good move by the captain, aggressive bowling this is.
Solidly behind it. The good thing is that anything on the stumps, Hafiz Kaleem, he's played it with a dead straight bat. So anytime Salman has looked to strive for a wicket, he's been rebuffed. And yes, Dawood Ijaz in at second slip as well. So they're certainly hunting to snaffle something. Only 10 runs off his 2.5 overs. Oh, just squeezed away towards square leg. Not quite in control at all.
And not something you see often. 2 slips in place in the 6th over of a T20. Generally, you find the captains can get defensive quite early on in the game, protect those big boundaries, protect those big gaps in the 30-yard circle. But Karwan's captain here, he senses that maybe there's another opportunity here. Both these batters haven't looked the most comfortable. They can pick up one more scalp, like you say. They'll be really bossing this game from there on.
Yeah, Hafiz Kaleem is the one they want. He can be destructive on his day. He'll make mincemeat out of any bowling attack. Short ball, had a dip at that one. Has he gloved it? Big appeal, and it's been given. Well, what a moment in this match. Safir Tariq going for that hook shot, and it's just kissed the gloves and gone through to the keeper. Salman Salim gets the 4th wicket.
He tried it in the last over, the last ball of the last over. He tried a bouncer, went for a boundary, but this time he's successful. Well directed bouncer there. And definitely there was some glove on it. Very good ball, that one.
Yeah, there was a clear deflection. Sensational bowling by Karwan. Gallian Cricket Club, 24 for 4. Israr Ahmed coming in at number 6. Well, he's the right man for a crisis. Stodgy, obdurate kind of a player. And look at that slip cord and 2 men in there, catching backward point as well. Very close in, looking for that slash. And Salman Salim, he's bowled the spell of his life tonight. Absolutely making the ball sing. Very watchfully played. That's a brilliant over. Only 1 run and a wicket off it. 24 for 4 at the end of power play. Zahid Ali continues. Flicked over the top of mid-wicket. Plenty of real estate out there. And Hafiz Kaleem has decided to grab the bull by the horns here.
Yeah, they needed that, Gallian. They needed that boundary to relieve some of the pressure. They were under the pump due to some very good fast bowling. Straying a little too full here on that occasion, the fast bowler on the leg side. And Hafiz Kaleem is the kind of player, you bowl to his pads there, he's not going to let it go unpunished. So much needed boundary here.
Yeah, just overcorrecting there, Zahid Ali. Looking for that Yorker on leg stump. Got it too full. Didn't hit the block hole. The current run rate is going at a snail's pace, just 4.5. Let's see if Zahid Ali can nip one out here. Oh, it's the toe end of the bat, flying away to deep third. And that's a big catch taken. That's a huge moment in the game. Hafiz Kaleem, the captain, has to depart.
He judged that to perfection, the fielder down there, third man. Not an easy catch to take. Salman Salim, after finishing that over, running all the way to his right and judging that to perfection. If you've been to the ICC Academy grounds, you know it can get difficult sometimes to judge it under those lights. Not the best of deliveries. Soon as Hafiz Kaleem saw that outside the off stump, he slashed at it, and wow, what a good catch there by Salman Salim. That's what you want to see from your fielders.
That's brilliant. One fast bowler supporting the other. Frustration for the captain. It's 28 for 5. Well, another big striker of the ball coming in at number 7, Amjad Gul. And he is truly the last resort for Gallian Cricket Club. Another ferocious striker of the ball. And I'm quite surprised to see him at number 7. He can easily bat any position in the top order. Zahid Ali on a roll now. He's got his scalp as well. Karwan CC, what a performance. Down the leg side. Oh, that's a brilliant take by Muazzam. Saved a certain 4 wides there.
Yeah, I like that from Amjad. A step forward to try and negate that movement and swing, which has troubled all his predecessing batters. And obviously, they come with a lot of reputation, and Amjad is someone who's trying to now figure out a strategy to try and avoid that movement that these bowlers are getting, which has troubled them so much so far this evening. Zaid Ali has his tail up. He's bowled really well. Obviously not the most deserving delivery to get that wicket, but you know what they say. When you've done well in most parts of your spell, sometimes even the worst delivery can pick you up a wicket.
Short ball, nicely glided with Karwan standing in close at backward point. Well, let's talk about that. Oh, there's overthrows here. Well, that's poor. Amjad Gul will gladly accept that to get off the mark. Twin lime green helmets there, looking rather fetching. But let's talk about that dismissal. I think that was a trap from Zaid Ali. He knows Hafiz Kaleem is going to go hard at the ball. And he just bowled it wide of off. He chased it. And that's a stupendous catch at deep third by Salman Salim.
Yeah, well, that's a big risk, isn't it? If it's a purposeful delivery outside the off stump, your offside is completely empty. You've only got that third man.
Well, there's an expression, Samir, no risk it, no biscuit. And he's got the cookie tonight. 30 for 5 after 6.5. Gallian Cricket Club all at sea. Oh, that one was tracking in, flick to mid-on, and that's a smart single taken by Israr to get off the mark as well. These are still two recognized batters, so they're still in with a shout here, Gallian.
And I think that's exactly what they need to do, these two. They've figured out that going hard and flashing at it hasn't worked so far. So it's a kind of wicket where you get your eye in for a while. Maybe these two need to take some time. Forget about the run rate for a while. Watch the next 4 to 5 overs. Make sure they don't lose their wickets. See where it takes them. If they can get to around 50 for 5 at the 10th or 11th over mark, from there they can assess what's going to be a good total. Start taking those risks after the 15th over. But until then, look for those gaps. Get those 1s, 2s. It's an attacking field. Try and find those gaps and get those big runs.
Played it very cautiously there. And yes, you're absolutely spot on. It's all about short goals. Let's make it to the 10th over. Let's make it to 50 runs. Then you just slowly pile on the building blocks and see where you are. Look to reassess. Because Amjad Gul, if he gets his eye in, he's going to start smashing the ball all over the place. Let me tell you.
And that's what differentiates, Ahmed, the ordinary cricketers from extraordinary cricketers. They know what to play, how to play in certain situations, adapting to the situation of the team, the situation of the grounds, the conditions, and all of those things. Extraordinary cricketers, they know the right buttons to press.
It's been a steady over from Zahid Ali so far. In swinger, tried to create room, but just cut straight to the point fielder. And they were looking for one, but to no avail. Another excellent over, 31 for 5 at the end of 7. Interesting move, Salman Salim to bowl out. And very watchfully played by Israr. So, the captain of Karwan CC pushing all his chips into the middle. He's backing his strike bowler to get another one here.
Yeah, I like that. I like that ruthlessness. That's what you need. You've got half your opposition back in the hunt. Might as well pick up a couple more, or maybe at least one more to really pull them out of this game. And that's what they're trying to do here, Karwan.
Around the wicket again. Oh, he chased that. His back foot was moving towards the leg side. He wasn't getting to the pitch of the ball. That's not a good approach to play swing bowling. You have to climb on top of the ball, not create room to maneuver the ball on the off.
He was beaten by pace on that occasion. Salman Salim has got his tail up now after picking up that wicket. He really looks fired up. And you can tell sometimes a fast bowler when he's in good rhythm, just their body language, the way they run into the crease, the way they deliver. You can just tell that they're feeling good about their spell today.
Oh, absolutely. Once again, solidly played by Israr. He will apply himself. He won't gift his wicket. And this has been fantastic bowling. Current run rate just above 4, if you can believe it. Usually you see it around 14. But Karwan CC, they've been really switched on tonight. They've made the Gallian batters toil. And eventually the pressure told. And most importantly, they didn't put down their catches. Salman Salim took a brilliant one at deep third. Amir Hamza at mid wicket. That was a sharp effort. So they have backed their bowlers as well. And Salman Salim 1 for 11 in 3.5 overs. Excellent bowling. The swing is just dying down a touch here.
Yeah, they may get their length wrong once in a while. Oh, that's a no ball. A rare foot wrong by the bowlers. They've been superb today, but here it's a front foot no ball and the umpire signals a free hit. So some license for the batter finally to have literally a free hit after all that they've been through.
Well, his right shoe is looking in some serious disarray. I think it's just opened up or something, or he's cut it open, trying to create room for his foot. We've seen the likes of Shoaib Akhtar and Waqar Yunus used to have that front toe part cut out just to let their big toe get through, and smacked. Oh, a misfield at extra cover. And that free hit will hit the fence.
Yeah, they needed that desperately, Gallian. The boundaries had dried up, the runs were not coming. There was that mistake from the bowler that allowed them to break free just slightly. 36 for 5 still doesn't look for pretty reading, but still, that'll make them feel good. Well played hit, that one.
Yeah, that's a very poor effort at extra. It was in that in-between area, whether to go for the catch or block it right in front of the fielder. So I can perhaps feel for him, but at this level, you need to do a lot better. I think we've only seen about 3 boundaries in the entire innings. That inside edge from Sohaib. Hafiz Kaleem hit a couple as well. So the runs have been very hard to come by. And this one from Israr. Down the leg side, was hunting for that leg stick. And he's not getting that swing he was getting in the first or third over now.
Yeah, like you said, he's trying to get that rhythm back again. He's gone back over the wicket, and there's an explanation for that hole that they cut on the shoe, the fast bowlers generally. When you're landing, on your landing foot especially, the impact that you make, it makes your foot go forward onto the shoe, and your toe, especially your nail, it keeps thudding onto that padding. And sometimes, in fact most times, most fast bowlers find that their nails get damaged very regularly. So that little opening there allows that little extra room when the fast bowler lands on his foot to not have that heavy impact every time they land.
Absolutely. A lot of nerve endings at that as well. And this is a beautiful pickup shot all the way over mid-on for a maximum. That's a shot of some authority from Israr Ahmed.
He just lost his line slightly now, Salman. I mean, in search of that extra wicket. Salman Salim, beg your pardon. Searching for that extra wicket, straying a little too full, a little less in pace as well. And that's a well-played shot there. Very nicely played by Israr Ahmed.
Well, that same ball would have swung towards the slips. This time, dead straight. And it's such a good paced wicket. You can go through with your shots. And those short straight boundaries will give you maximum value. 1 for 23 on the day still had been a wonderful effort.
Yeah, and I want to finish well here. Have good figures when he goes home. Reflect over a good performance. And goes short. Like he has done in the last 3 overs of his. Goes short in the last delivery to try and pick up a wicket. This time, he finishes his over. Superb spell by Salman Salim. 1 for 24 in his 4 overs. 8 overs done. 44 for 5.
I like this bowling change. Big, fast bowling all-rounder Amir Hamza coming into the attack. I'm a huge fan of this fellow. We call him the Flintoff of Saiwal. And he has that swag, he has that match-winning ability that Big Fred used to bring for the Three Lions. And I am really glad to see fully fit and bowling as well. Let's see what he can get coming in from the academy end. This is his kind of a pitch. Squeezed away to backward point, and this is another fast bowling option. Pardon me, that's Dawood Ijaz. It's in the opposition, Saifullah Noor. Left arm swing bowler. He should enjoy these conditions as well. But Amir Hamza just hits that seam. He's a big, tall lad, as you can see there, Samir.
Remind me again, how we invested Australia, Perth, 4 fast bowlers in the 9th over of a T20. How rare is that sight in modern day cricket?
Well, let's not talk about Perth. I'm not in the mood tonight. Well, absolute disaster there for my team. And just trying to carve that away through cover point. Went a lot straighter. Strange looking shot there from Israr.
This will be a good challenge for Hamza because he's seen his fast bowler Salman Amin gradually losing all that movement and swing, and now he has to come up here and bowl on what has become a much flatter track than what it was. It was moving around, zipping around in the beginning, in the first 5 overs, but now it's become a bit more friendly to the batter. This is where a fast bowler's skills are really put to the test. Can you make that adjustment when the track isn't assisting you? What kind of variations do you have? How well do you read the batter? And from what you speak about Hamza, I think he's going to be just fine.
Pace on this time, trying to slash it. And he has that oomph in his bowling. Bowls a heavy ball. Got that extra bounce. Must be about 6'3" as well. Tall, strapping lad. He's been focusing on his batting the last 18 months or so. He's made a lot of big scores, but I want to see him stick to his bowling as well. Of course, it's not easy being a pure all-rounder, being a world-class player in both disciplines, but that's what the likes of Ben Stokes, Jacques Kallis could do. Inside edge onto the boot. That could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, he wanted to hit that to Dubai downtown, made zero connection, and it went right to his pads. Lucky there to not have him trickled onto the wickets, to the stumps.
Well, I don't understand why he's doing that. 12 of 13. He's batting relatively well. He's hit a few boundaries too. Just apply yourself. Plenty of time still remaining in this batting innings. You still have 11 overs after this. Why are you in such a hurry? You're only going to make runs if you're still out there. Inside edge. Oh, that's sensational keeping by Muazzam Hayat. Saved a certain boundary.
If he keeps jumping around like that, you'll have a few football academies here looking around here, scouting him for a goalkeeping position. That's a very good keeping effort there.
Well, we have the La Liga Academy
right next to us.
Next door. And look at that leap. A la Iker Casillas. Brilliant effort. Brilliant effort. And they need that extra support from the outfielders. And Amir Hamza, he's in the progress of bowling a maiden here maybe. Slashed. Has he got bad on it? No, it just swung late. So it's a maiden from big Amir Hamza. Well bowled. 44 for 5 at the end of 9. Tariq Mahmood, the spinner, coming on from the school end. And he's known locally as Tariq Murali, and you'll see very soon exactly why. That one goes across the right-hander.
I need to take a recording of that and send it back to my countrymen and show them there's an extra Murali if anyone wants. Tariq Mahmood, wow, that's very similar action to Murali. I mean, if you can be as 10% as good as Murali, then Karwan will be very happy with that.
Well, then we'll be cooking with gravy, that's for sure. Slide it across and belt it through extra. Big chase for the cover sweeper, and he's done really well. Had to get the running shoes on there, Sardar Behzad. They'll pick up 2.
Well, I haven't seen any spin from him so far. It's just been gun barrel straight stuff. But the batters will now look to target a bowler like this. They will definitely want to do that because they know they've been under the pump by the fast bowlers. Here's an opportunity to pick up some runs. They'll try to target him.
Yeah, that's the only relief they've had so far. Let's see if they're willing to counter-attack him. Like you said, very watchful indeed, Amjad Gul. Playing as late as possible from the crease. And like you mentioned, so far haven't seen anything rip off the surface or even any extra bounce. So Amjad Gul won't hang around. He's been at the crease for at least 20 minutes and only faced 6 deliveries. So he'll be looking to get on with the game as well. Hard pull through mid-wicket. Only for 1. The field is well set for him.
He chose to push that a bit more flatter. We saw some flight in the first couple of deliveries, but now he looked to push that maybe just to try and get the batters by surprise.
Sardar Behzad giving a thumbs up to our hard-working camera crew. Good for you, young man. And of course, all of our hard-working backroom staff from TCM, working extremely hard indeed. Flicked once again towards that sweeper on the leg side. Zahid Ali posted there, very good fielder. The right man in the right spot.
A strong leg side play, Israr Ahmed. We've seen that every time someone sprayed down his pads, he's capitalized on that, played that superb pickup shot against the fast bowler this time, against the spinner picking up that single. So Israr will be key here for Gallian. Amjad will have to support him, give him the strike as much as possible because he seems to be the one who look to bat the 20 overs and get some respectable total here for Gallian.
Pushing for 2 here, worked onto the leg side and they'll pick it up quite easily. Well, it's been a laborious effort, but 50 has been raised for Gallian Cricket Club at the end of 10 overs. A lot more to do.
Oh, that's been hammered over mid-off. An opportunity to just throw his bat onto that. And Israr Ahmed, he's been looking for that. He's been looking for a loose ball for a long time now. And the moment he got one, latched onto it. Amir Hamza, who bowled a maiden in his first over, goes for a boundary off the first ball of his second over. That's good from Israr's perspective that he's put the bowler under pressure from the first ball. That's nicely done. Get the boundary and get off strike. Rotate those singles. Joining me now, who's been a very busy man today, Mudassir. You've been behind the mic for quite a long time today, haven't you?
Very good evening, Samir, and it's a pleasure to share Combox with you. Definitely, it has been a very tough day and an entertaining one because we had a match in Perth which went till the last ball, and I could not find Ahmed Khaja. Where is he? Call him, please.
Oh, that's nicely whacked away. Drop shot by Amir Hamza. He went full in the first delivery, got hit over the fielder at mid-off. This time he drops it short, and Amjad this time joins the party by just swatting that away over the point fielder for a much needed boundary. Now Gallian are talking cricket. They've got a couple of boundaries in this over, and after a long time it seems like runs have become a little bit easier to come by.
Though they have lost 5 wickets, still they're playing their shots. Width has been offered and cut over the point. Nice looking shot from the blade of Amjad Gul. Slowly the partnership building up between Amjad and Israr.
Is once again played very nicely onto the offside. They look for a 2, but no. Striker Israr says no thank you. There doesn't seem to be a 2 there. So a good first over by Amir Hamza. But unfortunately for his second, he's gone for a few, and Gallian will start breathing again. They've got that run rate up above 5.62. It's that 830 to 150 mark that they'll be looking to post here. And they'll try and see if they can defend that.
Samir, let's talk about the World Cup which is going on in Australia. I know that you're a big fan of Sri Lankan team, but apart from Sri Lankan team, which is the other team that can make to the final?
That's another boundary there, down the leg side. So slashing at it Israr Ahmed and getting another boundary. Hamza Amir has been very expensive in this over. 3 boundaries, 4 single, 4 single, 4. Gallian now getting a move on. Speaking of the World Cup, Mudassir, it seems now that there are no favourites because every team has had some trouble except for New Zealand, who had a dominant performance against Australia. They played just the 1 game, but every other team seems to have some weak links. India too. Yes, they won against Pakistan, but they laboured, didn't they? It was an absolute labour. It was a swing-song game. So you can't really have favourites. But if you ask me for now, definitely New Zealand in with a big chance. That's nicely done. That's very nicely done. This has been very intelligent batting here from Israr Ahmed. They've got the boundary and then they've rotated the strike, ensuring that they got 15 runs off this over. 11 overs done. Gallian going along nicely, 65 for 5. Another change in the bowling now. Babar Iqbal, another spinner comes into the attack. Tariq Mahmood with just 1 over. It's a very simple short run up, and this is nicely guided. Very nicely guided by Israr Ahmed. Unfortunately, it didn't go all the way, just a single. But it's a good option to take against a slow right arm spin of Babar Iqbal. Helmets off now for Amjad. And the fast bowling barrage is over from Karwan. They can breathe a bit more easier now. But they'll look to attack the spinners, Mudassir. This is their opportunity to get some runs on the board.
And talking about attacking, went down the track on the very first ball. Amjad Gul, a typical Amjad Gul, looking short, known as Lala in his team. Babar Iqbal, known as a golden arm, this team. And Samir, let me tell you, he formed this team way back in 2009 or 10 around. It's almost 12 years. He started with the B division team, then slowly he moved into A division, and he kept on trying. I think he lost around 30 to 40 semi-finals, and recently they were the finalist of 50 overs Bukhatir League. After struggling for 10-12 years, it's a journey where he gave chance to many cricketers in UAE. At the end, by a whisker, they have missed the championship trophy in the Sharjah Stadium.
Lots of flight there, but unfortunately not in the right direction. Down the leg side, Babar Iqbal choosing to give enough time to the batsman Israr Ahmed, who's looked good so far. And I'll tell you what, he could have had a cup of tea by the time the ball arrived at him. Look at that, ample room down the leg side. Any batter at any level will punish you for that. Karwan slowly now letting this game slip away from them. You know how dangerous Amjad Gul and Israr Ahmed can be. This is not something they'd want to do. Let them get through with this partnership. Again, that slog sweep. Lots of flight offered. This time he doesn't get all of it, so just a single. But this is good from Gallian. They're slowly recovering now. The 6-wicket partnership proving to be very useful for them.
Partnership worth 46 of just 36 deliveries. After losing Hafiz Kaleem, both the batters Amjad and Israr doing the repair work for GCC. Babar into his first over. Once again played on the back foot by Amjad. Sardar Bazad, fielder, patrolling the deep extra cover region. And with that single, 12 gone, 75 for 5.
And then despite that expensive over, it seems like Hamza Amir will get another opportunity to redeem himself. This is full and this has been hoiked over. The fielder at long off can only watch the ball sail over him. What a strike this from Amjad Gul. Well, they've been kept circumspect for a long time, and finally here, some easy deliveries for them to put away. Still required a good shot. Look at that, cleared his leg and just hoiked that over. Got a lot of distance, got a lot of elevation and got a maximum result for that. 6 runs. He'll feel good about that, Amjad Gul. 81 for 5 now, Gallian. It seems like they're getting a move on here. There's been a flurry of boundaries suddenly. This was once again very nicely done. Hamza Amir spraying down the leg side. Amjad Gul this time playing it very delicately off his hips. Just making sure. In fact, that's been given a leg by the umpire. He did try to get bat on that, but still made sure he got something. Thigh pad on that occasion. Yes, it's a thigh pad. Eventually, it doesn't matter because it's 4 more runs on the board for Gallian. Getting a move along now. 85 for 5 now in the 13th over. That run rate climbing ever so slightly now at 6.66. If they continue like this, it'll up at 130, but they'll want much more. They'll want to be around that 150, 160 mark. At one point, even 120 was looking difficult. 30 odd for 4. Dropping it short again, Hamza Amir. This time there's a fielder. So just be a single. So trying a little too hard here, Hamza Amir. He wants to pick that wicket up, break that partnership. Maybe it might be a good idea to go back to that probing length. Yes, there isn't as much swing and movement as there was in the beginning of this innings. But still, he's found out the hard way, Hamza Amir, that searching for those wickets and going a little too hard might end up being too expensive. Remember, his first over was a maiden. Now he's gone for 22 runs in his third over. That's gone high up in the air. Will that be taken? Fielder getting underneath it. Oh, he's dropped it. A lot of things going wrong for Karwan here. Boy, oh boy, they've bossed this game in the first 10 overs and suddenly a flurry of boundaries, catches being put down, misfields and whatnot. Ahmed Khaja, what's going on with Karwan here?
Well, I cannot believe my eyes. Shehraz Ahmed, how do you drop that? Just took it too easy. Will that be the turning point in this match? Like you've mentioned, they've bossed this game up till this moment. But this partnership has grown to 59 runs. And it's looking very, very ominous indeed.
Again making room and playing a beautiful looking stroke there, Amjad Gul. Suddenly he's taken over from Israr Ahmed. It was Israr who was doing all the heavy lifting. Suddenly Amjad has said, all right, let me join the party too. He's got his eye in. He's seen what the pitch is doing. He's taken a look at the bowlers and now he's decided it's time to go. It's time to step on the gas. Try and up this scoring now. Because they know that if 120, 130 isn't going to be enough on this wicket. Looks like a good batting track. Last ball of Hamza Amir. Can he finish well? Okay, nicely done there by Israr Ahmed. Single down to the third man region. It'll end the 13th over. Another expensive one from Hamza Amir. 89 for 5. On a regular day, you look at that scorecard and think 89 for 5, well, not the best start from the batting team, but I'll tell you what, they were 28 for 5 at one point, and these two, Israr Ahmed and Amjad Gul, have completely turned things around. You spoke highly of these two batters, Ahmed, and they've lived up to their reputation.
Absolutely. Amjad Gul, 23 to his name of 17. And Israr Ahmed, he's worked really hard for his 30. Both looking very solid out there. 7 overs to go. Can they take them to about 165, 170? I think that could be a score worth fighting for.
Look at the names that Karwan has. We want to at least put up a 150. Gallian here. Well, the Arab Murali is back in action. At least that's what I like to call him. Tariq Mahmood gave away just 6 runs in his first over. We haven't seen any spin whatsoever, any turn. I wonder if it's got to do with the track or if it's the spinner not just getting any turn off their wrists.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. Not getting a lot of action on the ball. And they've played him quite cautiously in the first over. Now I think they'll be looking to counter-attack here, Samir.
I wish there was a closer view of the bowler's face when he bowls, because as you know, Murali, when he bowls, his eyes pop out. So one of those things that the batters get, as if his spin wasn't difficult to deal with, you have those eyes staring at you when he's delivering the ball. So lots of things to deal with when you're facing someone like a Murali. But I wonder what's the case here.
One of the iconic images of the mid-noughties, seeing Muthaiya Muralidharan operating for like 45 overs on the trot from one end in test matches held in Sri Lanka. What a champion he was. Drilled down the ground, forced towards that long off fielder, and how desperately unlucky. I think he didn't win the World T20. He had retired by then. Rangana Herath had stepped into his role, and what a job he did for Sri Lanka. A faithful servant for so many years, and we absolutely could not stand the sight of him. He used to run through our batting attack like knife through butter. Oh, once again looking for that slash, not given as a wide.
Push through harder this time. There's a lot of talk about Ranganahera these days because we've got a game against New Zealand coming up. Now remember that semi-final in which Sri Lanka scored only 120 odd and that defended that beautifully. Ranganahera 5 wickets from 3 runs odd. New Zealand batters were all at sea, just ripped through their batting lineup, won us a place in the finals. Oh, that's a silly misfield there. Guided down to third man, should have been a regulation stop. There shouldn't have even been a single there. But unfortunately for the bowler, this fielder has let him down.
Well, Ghulam Murtaza is a frontline fast bowler. He's yet to be used in this match so far. It's actually a galaxy of riches for Babar Iqbal. He has at least 4 or 5 genuine fast bowling options in this squad. And he might be thinking about that over 8, hence turning to spin of Tariq Mahmood, who's not really getting a lot of action on the ball. But they're not taking any chances against him. This time towards long off, just bouncing in front of Dawood Ijaz there.
Probably the first time they've played the spinner off the front foot. Generally hang on to the back foot and wait for the ball to come onto them. Still a good over from Tariq Mahmood, just 10 runs off his 2, 14 overs done, 93 for 5.
Well, there you can see 6 bowlers used so far by Babar Iqbal, including himself. So he has plenty of options up his sleeve for this last 6. And he's turning to his frontline seamer Shiraz Ahmed, warming up.
What a privilege to have someone with the experience of Shiraz Ahmed who can run in and bowl those fast deliveries, get that movement, get you wickets. We've seen him play in the T10, if I'm not wrong. He's played at that level.
Yes, he's played in the LPL as well as the BPL. Getting deep into his crease, carved over point, but a bit too square there. Wanted to miss that fielder and go over point.
And now you remind me, I was wondering where I've seen this Shiraz Ahmed. He was in the LPL. I remember even the same hotel, for a matter of fact. I was with the Jaffna Kings team that won the championship the last 2 years.
Okay, no need to show off.
I'm just trying to remember where I see him from. Now that I see him, now that you tell me that he plays in the LPL, reminds me where I've seen him. But humble guy.
Yeah, very soft-spoken indeed, Shiraz Ahmed. Pulled away over cow corner. And that's going into the car park for a biggie.
Hope you don't have your car there, Ahmed, because that surely could have damaged one. A huge 6 there for Israr Ahmed. He's looked good tonight. He took his time. Did watch out a few deliveries. Got his eye in, and now that he's in, he's playing some delightful strokes along with Amjad Gul.
100 up for Gallian Cricket Club. They were 28 for 5 at one stage, if you can believe it, and just picked it up on a length and deposited right over our cameraman. Watch out there, young man. 72 runs added between this pair, and that projected score of 11 runs per over, 159. I think that's well inside. In fact, I believe they can cross it.
Earlier together, Ahmed, we were talking about how these two need to have small goals, and that they've done that to perfection, haven't they? They got to that 10th over mark, got 50 on board, and now very quickly converted that second 50 in just 5 overs, which is amazing on their part. Short stuff from Shiraz Ahmed. This should be called a wide. unless he's got something on that. No, it seems like he has touched something.
Yeah, I think it just grazed his glove there. Umpire Zargham, very experienced. Given as one for the over, but not any extras. 38 of 31 for Israr. Let's take a look here. Over his left shoulder, perhaps a bit of glove, perhaps a bit of bat. Got away with that one.
Again, when you look at these two batters and their numbers, you think not the best strike rates for a T20, but given the circumstances and the context of the game and the situation in which they walked in, they've done a fabulous job here to try and get some respectability to this Gallian score. At 28 for 5, 100 for 5 would have been a distant dream, but these two have done a fantastic repair job and they'll want to continue. We've got 5 more overs to go after this. Try and get as many as possible under their belt. Try to get to that 150 mark and then hand it over to their bowlers to try and defend that. Shiraz Ahmed. Full driven to the fielder at D point.
Yeah, very strange field here. They had just pulled in that deep square leg into the ring and pushed that point fielder back. So he executed the plan. It was a full wide Yorker. 2 for 15 on the day is Shiraz Ahmed. Consistent as ever and a pure wicket taker as well. But this man on screen, I think he's had enough now. He's going to be chasing that white ball, trying to smash it all over the place. Amjad Gul.
A big gap here down in front of us. Mid-off is open. There's no fielder down here. And he hits it right here in that gap. But in fact, there is a long off who will cut it off. Almost didn't see him. A couple of runs now for Amjad Gul. He'll be targeting this gap over extra cover. Lots of open spaces here.
Yeah, Mir Hamza was a very straightish long off. And he just hit it to the left of him. Productive over so far. 10 runs added to the tally.
This partnership 75 now. They've done a superb job resurrecting this Gallian innings. Karwan will want to come back and finish well here. They'll need to break this partnership. Made room. They are trying to play maybe that paddle sweep. Try and get over that fielder at fine leg who's inside the circle. Unfortunately, it was too full to do that. Shiraz Ahmed with a good finish to the over. 15 done. 5 more to go. 104 for 5 Gallian Cricket Club. Sixteenth over and Tariq Mahmood will bowl his third one. Hasn't gone for too many. But they'll make sure they'll change that. They will make sure Amjad and Israr, they are looking to accelerate it. When you pitch it up like that and give them enough time to get on one knee, that will go for a 6. A huge one, maximum for Gallian.
Well, that's at least a 90 plus meter hit from Amjad Gul. He'd been sliding it across them. This time, chanced his arm. And that almost went through into the assembly hall of that school there. Just falling short. I'm not sure they have this thick tempered glass that we do in the comm box. Brilliant hit.
Yeah, he went for a few when he flighted it, so he wants to push it through now. Ensure that Amjad Gul doesn't get on that one knee and hammer him over, because if you give him the time and the flight, he's got those big arms, Amjad Gul. The strength of a giant to try and deposit that. Tariq Mahmood. This time he flights, then this time Amjad Gul again getting down that one knee, but doesn't make a connection.
Well, that's a better line from Tariq Mahmood, bowling it on midland leg. So if you want to swing on to that very long square boundary, that's the right idea. There you can see, in fact, it was pitching outside leg and sliding on that top spinner.
Lots of flight once again. They're giving it a lot of air, these spinners here. Babar Iqbal bowled just a 1-over win for a few. Here it's Tariq Mahmood. It's giving him so much time for the batter. He almost has enough time to decide what he wants to do. Even change his mind if he wants to.
And of course the over rate will be playing on the back of the mind of Babar Iqbal as well. He still has plenty of overs to bowl, 4 after this, and just about maybe 15 minutes. So needs to get through them quite quickly. Otherwise the match referee will be in his ear.
Long off, long on, and a deep mid-wicket for Tariq Mahmood. They've struggled on that side, haven't they? Every time the ball has been pushed through outside the off stump, especially when it's been very close to cut, the batters have struggled. Maybe they found a little channel there, try and stitch together a couple of dot balls, but the margin for error is very simple. If he does get some bat onto it, it's running away to the boundary because there's no one in the deep on the offside. That's gone high up in the air. There should be a fielder getting under it. In fact, it might just land in no man's land. That's gone between 3 fielders who were converging towards it. Unfortunate for Tariq Mahmood to not pick up a wicket there. Amjad stays to see another day. 16 overs done, 112 for 5. Four overs to go here now. Karwan have gone back to their right arm seamer, Zahid Ali, who picked up that 1 wicket. I'll want him to finish well. Death bowling skills to the test here. It's nicely hammered, but it might just go straight to the fielder. Yes, there is a long on there, patrolling the boundary, so just a single here. Amjad Bisrar will now look to really step on that gas and get this total up to about 150, 160. Will be enough here, Ahmed?
Well, it won't be enough, but they do have some quality in their bowling attack with Abdul Hafiz Afridi, Saifullah Noor, very good swing bowler in his own right. So they've boosted their fast bowling resources and will certainly need to bowl out of their skins. I think they need maybe around 165.
That's nicely bowled. It's that length, that difficult length where you can't decide whether to rock onto the back foot or to come forward. Maybe he could have driven that down the ground, but he's seen what has happened all evening, Amjad. He might want to be a bit more cautious. He knows Zahid is one of their premier fast bowlers. Don't want to give your wicket away to him. There are other bowlers maybe he can target.
Yeah, it's become a 1v1 sort of a shootout right now. Amjad Gul looking to cut loose. Zahid Ali slashed over point, and third man is in the circle. And that will rocket to the fence.
It's made it so difficult for the bowlers, this rule of having only 5 fielders outside. Margin for errors are very, very thin, man. I mean, the moment you have your third man up, every time you go full and every time the batter gets an edge, almost an undeserving boundary, isn't it? It's so unfair sometimes for the bowlers.
Yeah, especially when you have to gamble of bringing in that deep third into the ring or the fine leg. And with the ramps, scoops, reverses from the batters these days, they can literally score 360 degrees around the park.
Right then, what has Zahid going to do now? He went full, went for a boundary. What does he choose to do now? Full again, but that's lucky there. The point fielder got some hand onto it. Otherwise, that was running away for a boundary. Nevertheless, they'll still get 2. In fact, there's another fielding mishap, but won't cause too much trouble. There's still just 2 runs there.
Well, this time they had pushed the deep third back and attempted Yorker. Yeah, that's a misfield. Dawood Ijaz, usually a very clean fielder. Perhaps some dew settling on the outfield, making the ball harder to grip. The weather has certainly improved over the last week or so, Samir.
It's much nicer and cooler. There's a cool breeze blowing around every evening. It's nice to have a stroll sometimes. Enough reason for you to get out in Dubai generally. The city that's always hustling. It's full again, down his pads. Will the fielder cut it off? Yes, he has enough time to get around it. So another 2 here. They may not be getting the boundaries, but they're making sure that they're running for their runs. They're running hard every time they've hit it in the gaps.
Yeah, there was nobody at deep mid wicket. Deep square leg had to move all the way around to his left. So still a productive over here for Gallian. But I think Karwan CC will be relatively satisfied as well. It's still a below par score.
Gallian will want to pick up every run they can get here. Every single run matters in T20 cricket, as you may have seen from the game today. Sorry to remind you again. That's shot, that's been hammered, that's punished. A pull shot of some authority there by Amjad Gul.
Well, it was too short, sat in the pitch, asking to be smacked. And that is Amjad Gul's strong zone. Square on any side of the pitch, rocketing into the fence for another clean boundary. 125 for 5.
They're going to try and finish well for their team.
Well, we're seeing the spinner being used at the death. Very risky move indeed by Babar Iqbal. Surely it must have to do with the team's over rate. This could be a big over for Gallian. And Israr doing the right thing, getting Amjad Gul on strike.
India's defence, Ahmed, Tariq hasn't bowled too badly. 19 runs, given off just 19, but he's struggled to get him away. Maybe a little too slow for the batters to try and make use of that pace, which they're so used to on wickets like this.
I don't disagree with you, Samir, but it's a case-by-case basis. In the 18th over, you cannot have a spinner on to bowl. It's as simple as that, as we saw in the match between India versus Pakistan. Spinners at the death. That's going to happen to them. Launched over long off for a maximum. 50 for Amjad Gul. Well played.
What a fine innings this has been, and what a fine way to bring up your half century. If at 28 for 5 anyone told Gallian that they were going to make it 130 for 5 in 18 overs, they would have taken it with both hands. And how well Amjad and Israr have batted here. A superb 6 to bring up his 50. The moment it's been full, every time the bowlers have pitched it up, these two batters have made sure they get the maximum out of that. They've driven well, they've hit well down the ground in the V. And they've hit big shots like that, right behind the bowler. Ahmed, you called it. It was a risk to bring on the spinner, and now Karwan are paying the price for it.
Well, once again, it was too full from Tariq Mahmood. And Amjad Gul in this striking form, you are asking to be belted once again down the ground into the bushes of the schoolyard for 6. This is going to be a big over. It's already a big over. 13 of the first 3 deliveries.
Will this be the over that will change the game for Gallian? Can they run away to a very good finish? One that they hadn't imagined at the halfway mark. They were 50 for 5 at 10 overs. Look at that now. 88 runs in 7.5 overs. And that's largely, in fact, fully thanks to Amjad and Israr for putting on a show here. Very intelligent batting. They watched out the first few, the difficult phase. They ensured they didn't lose any more wickets. Kept those singles and the twos, kept that scoreboard ticking. Now here in the business end. That's nicely done. With a French cricket there by Amjad, making Grove and almost winning that wipe. In fact, those 2 runs that they run will not be given because the umpire has signaled that No shot offer, is that right?
Yes, indeed. Right call by umpire Zargham. There was no shot offered by Amjad Gul. So that will be a dot ball.
We played French cricket,
Le cricket français. We're certainly seeing a bit of it tonight. Amjad Gul 60 of 34. Hunting for more.
Made room there to go peek over the offside, but it was on his leg side, so he just pushed that down to mid wicket and gets a single. Really want to finish well here. Israr on the other hand will want to get a boundary to finish this over off and put them in a very good position for those last 2 overs. At one point, even 150 was looking difficult, but now they're well on course for a 160, 170 finish.
Completely agree. Final delivery of his spell. He's bowled over well in the overall context of things. Once again, beautiful hands through the ball. Beats the point fielder. It won't hit the fence. And they'll settle for a double. Perhaps these two batters a bit tired as well. 141 for 5 with 2 overs to go.
It looks like Shiraz Ahmed will finish his quota of overs. He's bowled brilliantly for his 3 overs, 2 wickets, 18 runs. Now his captain will want him desperately to finish off with maybe a wicket if he can. This partnership needs to be broken.
Well, the cut-off time has elapsed for Karwan Cricket Club. So 1 fielder in. I did mention, Samir, you will force the hand of the match referee, and he's done so.
Yeah, well, that was expected, isn't it? When you're playing 4 fast bowlers in your team, it's always going to be a struggle keeping up with that over rate. And unfortunately for Karwan, yes, they picked up wickets. It was useful for them having those 4 fast bowlers, but they're paying the price of that slow over rate by having 1 less fielder outside. And as if Amjad and Israr aren't in good enough form, they now have 1 less fielder to deal with. I mean, looking for those gaps. Who are the fielders in the deep, Ahmed? We have a deep point, long on, long off, and a deep mid wicket. Those are the 4 fielders. Not a long off, in fact.
No, you're absolutely right. There is nobody on the leg side boundary at all. No mid wicket, no square leg. There is a wideish long on, a long off, deep cover, and a very square deep third. In fact, it's a deep point. Unorthodox field. And you will be sure that Amjad Gul will be looking to take advantage. Anything slightly straightish, he'll drag it onto the leg side for a boundary.
And from what we've seen, he's attempting that wide Yorker. Again, a very risky ploy. 3rd man up in the circle, only a deep point as we mentioned. Oh, that's nicely done. That's nicely done. He thought he could hammer that away, Amjad. Almost thought it was a full toss, but didn't play the right line, I think, there.
Well, Samir, if you see, he tried to hit it on the leg side. That's why he has a sly grin on his face. But it was just tailing away from the right-hander. Hence, he couldn't quite connect on it. Anywhere on the leg side, that would have been 4. This is brilliant bowling from Shiraz Ahmed.
There's a big gap over extra cover. Like you said, the long off is a very straightish long off. And then you have the deep extra cover, which is very much a rounded. That's been hammered. That's gone high up in the air, into the night sky, behind the side screen. In fact, it just hits the side screen for another big maximum. I'll tell you what, Amjad Gul, every 6 that is hit has gone a long way. It's not the 6s that land just inside the grass. They go a long way. And that speaks volumes about the man's strength.
Absolutely off the back foot. It was full, but he just has that power, has that six hitting ability. Take a look, nothing wrong with the delivery. Just missed his length by an inch, and it was enough to send the ball a mile, crashing into the side screen. Brilliant striking by Amjad Gul.
It's halfway through the over. They've got 7 runs now, including that wide. Again, full. There is a fielder there, and another drop. Hamza Amir, what have you done? You're supposed to be one of the better fielders in this team. That's what pressure can do to you. When the batters are going well, your heads are down, you're not on your toes, and a simple catch like that can also be put down.
Well, those are 2 lives gifted to the spare Amir Hamza at mid-off. That was an absolute sitter. Shiraz Ahmed himself was guilty of shelling a catch. How costly will they be? They've already cost them 120 runs between this partnership.
Shiraz, we want to finish well here. The square leg fielder is now going to the deep. Deep point has now come up, so no one in there is in fact a deep extra cover on the offside. But there's no long off. Big open spaces in front of the batter. Anything full? It doesn't go full. Very, very good ploy there. It did bring that square leg down to the boundary. Went for the shorter one. He's got protection on the leg side.
Very intelligent bowling from Shiraz indeed. He put the 2 leg side fielders out, the mid wicket and the square leg, then went for that slow bouncer, given as 1 for the over, a priceless dot ball. And he's kept the same field. Mid off is up, the 2 leg side sweepers are out. So you're not going to expect anything full. It's going to be back of a length and straight.
Unless it's a double bluff by Shiraz Ahmed. Might just go for the full one. Yeah, goes for the full one, but might just pay the price for it. Yes, it's a boundary. That did touch the rope. So he wanted to play with the batsman's mind, almost giving him the hint that he's going to go short again. Chose to go for the full one, but Israr Ahmed equal to the task.
Well, despairing effort there by the mid-off Amir Hamza. He's not had a good day in the field. Another soft boundary conceded. 150 brought up with 6 balls to go.
Right, just the final over to go now in this first innings between Gallian Cricket Club and Karwan. Karwan got off to a really good start, won the toss and chose to bowl first quite confidently. They did pick up 5 wickets for 28 runs, but look at that score now, 152 for 5, a partnership of 124 between Amjad and Israr. The last 6 balls of this game coming up. Zaid Ali will do the honours for Karwan. Short one to begin with, doesn't get too much bat on it.
Yeah, it was the slower ball there from Zaid Ali. So Israr has done the right thing, unselfishly getting Amjad Gul, the big hitter, on strike. 71 of 41 for him. Let's take a look at the field. We have a deep square leg, a deep mid wicket, a long on, and there is a deep point going out for Amjad Gul. So the mid off and mid on have to be up. No, they've reined in the deep square leg up to the leg umpire. So there is only a deep mid wicket and the straight fielders. There's a deep point and a deep cover. Very confusing. I'm not sure what the game plan he's trying to execute here is. Let's see if he can pull it off.
That's been hammered. That's on the cow corner. And that's been signaled 6 by the umpire. I thought he was going to go for the short stuff because the mid-off is up. He's got all 4 of his fielders on the 2 sides of the wicket for that pull shot, but he goes full, gets it wrong, full toss, and the batter Amjad Gul, the way he's been batting all evening, he's not going to miss out on that.
Well, that made absolutely no sense to me. Why are you bowling full with your mid on up? There's only a deep square leg for you. And in the end, it was basically a free hit for Amjad Gul down the ground. And he's hit it for a maximum. He looks quite tired out there on his haunches. But what a brilliant knock. 77 of just 42 deliveries. Now another change in the field. The deep square leg is going out. And they've pulled in that deep point into the ring.
Which means the long on is going down to the line, which makes sense because if he does get that Yorker wrong like he did in the last delivery, it's going to get punished. But I'll tell you what, the way Amjad is hitting them, there's very few chances for the ball to go to the fielder's hands because he's clearing those boundaries with some ease. And this time he goes short. So the fielder there at deep mid-wicket will come into play. Will he be able to stop it to single? Oh, he makes a mess of it. An easy finish there for the batters in the end. 2 runs. The fielders, they are feeling the pressure of this onslaught from Amjad and Israr.
Yeah, it's Amir Hamza once again. The ball seems to be following him. Made a hash of that one as well. And absolutely spot on there, Samir. They are feeling the heat of Amjad Gul's bat right now. 161, who would have thought when they were 28 for 5. It's been a sterling comeback by the GCC Stallions. Wonderful batting.
At 50 for 5 in the first 10 overs, Karwan were absolutely bossing the game. Again, shot pulled, but this time the fielder has lesser pressure in collecting that. 50 for 5 at the 10 over mark and now 162. So in 58 balls, they've made 112 runs. That's a huge partnership between these two and a massive recovery in the context of the game. Yes, this total might not seem enough, but remember in T20, one thing that you always want for yourself is momentum. And that is something Gallian has gallons of.
And that has been the trend at this ground. The first 10 overs are for the bowling side, and then the floodgates really open for the batters once that ball gets soft and wet. Zahid Ali, penultimate delivery. Hard pull to mid-wicket. Amir Hamza in the action once again. And they're going to push for 2. No, that's brilliant fielding. Kept them to 1.
And that's what your fielders must do for you. When you're bowling in, you're dropping that short stuff. You need your fielders in the deep, especially on the 2 sides of the wicket, to be on their toes, stop those 2s. Because every run matters here. They've pushed on to 163 now, Gallian. They're trying to have that strong finish. One last ball coming up in this innings. Look at the partnership, 135 of 82 deliveries. 10 overs ago, that was looking impossible. But it's all thanks largely to Amjad and Israr. Put together a brilliant partnership. And quite fittingly, Amjad will face the last delivery. Can he finish with the maximum? Oh, he was shaping up to heave that over leg side, but was short outside the off stump, and all he gets is a single with the ball trickling down to the field at mid-off. So a good finish in the context of the game for Zahid Ali. Just one boundary, a big 6 off that over. Otherwise, it's been good bowling to finish it off. But what a partnership this has been between Amjad and Israr. At a 50 for 5 at 10 overs at halfway mark, it seemed like Gallian was struggling, but now they've put together 164 runs here. A brilliant recovery. They'll feel that they're still in this game, Ahmed.
Absolutely. Wonderful work done by this pair. They've taken that scorecard to some modicum of respectability. Let's take a look. That top order was completely blown away by Shiraz Ahmed, Zahid Ali and Salman Salim. Completely forgotten about him. And then it was Israr Ahmed, 46 of 39. Amjad Gul, 81 of 45. A partnership of 136 runs with 12 extras, taking to a par score, a fighting score. But Karwan CC should feel that they can hunt this down.
We've talked about how they bossed the game in the first 10 overs, and that was largely thanks to their 3 frontline seamers, Shiraz Ahmed, Salman Salim, Zahid Ali, picking up wickets between themselves. But that was it. After that, Mir Hamza, Tariq Mahmood going for quite a few, and even the fast bowlers towards the end, Zahid Ali, little too expensive. A superb finish there. Still overall, in the context of the tournament, the way some of the games have gone, this is still a good bowling card, and that's largely thanks to the fast bowlers of Karwan CC.
Right then, 165 runs required for Karwan Cricket Club in their second innings. We'll take a short break and be right back for the run chase. Stay tuned. Right then, the two openers for Karwan Cricket Club are out there in the middle. It's Dawood Ijaz and Muazzam Hayat. Muazzam coming off a 50 in his first match in the Arabian Cricket League. 165 runs is the target for the man in yellow. Waqas Ahmed inducted into the side to boost the fast bowling. Will be starting from the academy and for Gallian Cricket Club. And joining me in the comm box for what should be an exciting run chase is Samir Yunus. Good evening, sir. And immediately on the money is Waqas. Bit of a misfield, but no harm done.
Good evening to you. Good evening to everyone watching. Is what is going to be, hopefully, another exciting and thrilling encounter between these two teams. Gallian Cricket Club, obviously the team with the momentum, especially the way they finished, are looking done and dusted, out in the dumps at 28 for 5, and then came those two superb batters, Israr Ahmed and Amjad Gul. Now it's up to their bowlers.
Quickish arm action there from Waqas Ahmed. They'll scamper for one, waiting for the umpire signal. And he's given it as runs, so Muazzam Hayat is underway.
Quite a few left armers this evening. A left armer to begin Gallian's bowling innings as well. And almost wrong-footed, reminds me of a Sohail Tanvir. He used to trouble Sanat Jayasuriya quite a bit. That's why I remember him.
I think it was his very first international wicket for Sanat Jayasuriya in the 2007 World T20. Waqas Ahmed, Salman Salim, Shiraz Ahmed, you're absolutely spot on there. Dawood Ijaz, classy player. We're going to push that into the offside for a quick single to get underway. He's been inducted into the side as well. So they're just boosting their batting resources, Karwan CC. And it should be a relatively easy chase, but nothing is easy, is it, Samir?
Yeah, when you're chasing in a T20, you always have that scoreboard pressure. Even if it's a low total, you still have to get to that. And that plays in the back of your mind.
Oh, it's a slow delivery. He's foxed him. Mid-wicket settling. And it's a duck for Dawood Ijaz. Waqas Ahmed into the team, into the side, into the attack, and into the wickets as well. Brilliant start for Gallian.
I was about to bring up the topic of how these bowlers are going to approach this now, because their counterparts found lots of swing and movement off this track, but it's late in the evening. The pitch has been used quite a bit. Will these bowlers also get that movement or not? It doesn't matter, because Waqas, as you said, has absolutely foxed Dawood Ijaz with that slowed one. So a big first wicket here for Gallian. 1 for 1, Karwan.
Qamar Awan coming in at number 3 of a sparkling century in the first match for Karwan CC. So the man in form, given a promotion in the batting order. And Waqas Ahmed, he looks a very good fast bowling package here.
Yeah, good bounce. There are lots of ones around. Karwan, 1 for 1. Qamar Awan is here.
Well, it's too late in the evening for dad jokes, but we'll take it, Samir Yunus.
That's the reason we are behind the mic and not on the pitch, Ahmed.
Absolutely. He's looked a finished product, quality bowler. Oh, and he swiped it over mid-on, all the way for 6, thudding into the ICC Academy. Well, that's the sign of a man in form.
Well, that's some hit. New ball, fast bowler running into you, just a little full, and he's hammered that with absolutely no effort. Stand and deliver for that maximum. 7 for 1, Karwan.
Saifullah Noor warming up. Another left armour coming into the attack. Samir. I think between your and my countries, we must have produced 500 of them. WPUC, CJ, JC Vas on your end. And Wasim Akram, Shaheen Shah, Afridi, Wahab, Riaz, well, Junaid Khan, the list goes on and on. Add Saifullah Noor to that. Quality bowler. Big fan of this lad coming in from the school end. Let's see if he gets that ball to hoop around like Salman Salim was earlier in the evening. Oh yes, he can. Most certainly. Given as a no ball though, well, that's a poor start for Saifullah Noor.
Quite a few left armers this evening at the ICC Academy. There's one sitting next to you, Ahmed. And you mentioned WPU JC Was, but more recently we've got the likes of Binuro Fernando. Unfortunately for him, got injured and is out of the World Cup. We used to have a Chanaka Velagadara, fantastic bowler. Unfortunately, didn't have the longest of career, lives in Australia now. New one, Zoisa, the tall left armer, picked up a hat-trick against Zimbabwe once.
Yeah, I remember him, tall seamer. Remember him very well. Oh, and he smacked it over cover point, Muazzam. You would expect him to shoulder arms to that one, but he's in fine touch as well, coming off a 50. And that's been blazed over cover for 4.
With that no ball and free hit, what Saifullah has done? With that no ball and free hit, what Saifullah has done is released that pressure that came about with the wicket that they got so early on in that first over. Now suddenly, he'll have to now finish this over under some pressure. He's gone for runs early on no ball, followed by a boundary of a free hit. His counterparts in the other team, the left armers, bowled really well, tight lines, immaculate length. But Saifullah here seems to be struggling. The towel's out early on in the game.
Q factor. Always lurking in the background. Oh, and he's lost his footing there. Be careful, young man.
We'll talk about slippery conditions here. The bowler himself slipping there. Wonder if it's got to do any of that sawdust that we saw the ground staff spraying all over at the midway. Or maybe it's just the wetness of the ground. All the dew that you talked about.
Certainly need to get that sawdust out. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it was his back leg, in fact. Going for a tumble. Hopefully he's alright. Big, strapping, well-built lad as well. And when you're unsure about your landing, that really takes your focus of where you're trying to bowl the ball. It's very, very important for a fast bowler's rhythm that he not be worried about the footing underneath. So this could be an opportunity for Muazzam to take some runs off him. Flowing drive, misfield and extra cover. The cover fielder giving chase will rein it in. Not a convincing fielding effort there at all at extra. They'll pick up 3 runs, in fact.
Yeah, nicely driven there. Saifullah going full. Muazzam, the kind of batter that he is, he likes to drive on the up. At least that's what we've seen from the little bit from this evening so far. Karwan started off with that huge 6 against Waqas Ahmed.
Yeah, another tall, lanky batter uses the long handle to devastating effect. They've still kept the mid-on up. There is a deep square leg in place though, along with the deep third. Oh, and that was an in-swinger on the pads. Well played, well bowled as well.
And that's where it needs to be, Saifullah. Not too full, not too short, just on a good length on a wicket like this. Yes, you can still get punished once in a while. Now you see that the tumble that he had will be unsettling for him because he's now constantly thinking about, he's worrying about that I might just slip, I might just get my footing wrong. And that sometimes can be very annoying for you as a bowler because it's always playing in the back of your mind. You're not focused on where you're going to land. Upsets your rhythm, your delivery, your action and all of that. It's very important for a bowler to get it right from the first ball.
Now they've pushed the mid-on back. Ahsan Shah gone out to the boundary. Down the leg side. Brilliant effort there by Safir Tariq. Behind the stumps. Fully horizontal. And saved a certain boundary. It will be a wide. Thankfully not 5 of them.
He's bowled a couple of good balls and once again gone back to that inconsistent line. This time a wide down the leg side and well taken by the keeper. We've seen some good takes today. The keepers from both sides. Look at that. That was going away from the keeper, swinging in. A good stop there. Those kind of saves will matter towards the business end of the innings. Every run that you save, every single that you stop.
Oh, absolutely. It's fine margins in the Arabian Cricket League. Once again, this time not quite getting it right, and it's a no ball again. Saifullah Noor is really struggling with his front foot here. It looks like he's going to go around the wicket here, Samir.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have got the right line for this right-hander. And that's why he's decided he's going to go come around the wicket and try and then cramp him for some space from the offside. Unfortunately for Gallian, they started off well, a good first over, but they've given it all away with this very indisciplined over from...
Yeah, so cannot change the field. There is a deep square leg and a long on. Nobody on the offside boundary. Inside edge, squeezed away. So that's a pretty decent free hit delivery.
And you want to be careful when you're bowling against someone like Karwan. He's in the form of his life, coming off a century from his previous game. Convincing win for them in their previous outing. 248 they scored in their first innings. And they'll look to repeat that.
A brilliant effort by Karwan CC. The batters looked in good touch. Muazzam Hayat, Kamarawan. Dawood Ijaz unfortunately falling early today. He is a very fine player too. Once again had a dip at that one. The slips had been taken out. So the shot was on for Muazzam. Lengthy over. And 11 runs off it too.
Yeah, he'll feel he missed out there, Muazzam. He was there to be hit outside the off stump. Enough room for him to cut it away. There is no field in the deep on the offside. The field is up inside the circle. So just a little bit of feather touch would have helped him. Hasn't been the best of over from Saifullah.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't. Maybe a change of ends.
Again.
Oh, he's fallen again. Well, something needs to be done about that. He certainly needs to change his ends or his foot gear here. He's really struggling. And I think he might do damage to himself as well. Ahsan Shah is offering his shoes to him. Maybe that could be an option. Once again, let's take a look. Yeah. He's got the wrong spikes on perhaps. And you can easily do damage to your calf there. He's still a trooper though. Willing to continue his over.
Yeah, his shoemaker won't be wanting our cameraman to be zooming into those shoes now. Nobody wants to know the brand that he's wearing.
Still, some of his deliveries have been right on the money. 18 for 1 at the end of 2. A long over comes to an end. Pushing for 2 here. Excellent running between Qamar and Muazzam. There was some slight confusion. But all's well that ends well. Waqas Ahmed, very impressive first over. Only took him a few deliveries to pick up Dawood Ijaz. Tall, lad, quick arm action certainly developed from tennis ball cricket back home. And he bowls that full delivery very well. 20 for 1, Karwan CC. Oh, it's gone straight up once again. Is there a fielder settling? Keeper takes the catch, Safir Tariq. But it's a no ball. Can you believe it, Samir Yunus? Drama at the ICC Academy.
Well, first of all, well done to the fielding side for making sure that it's the keeper that gets underneath it. That's the right thing to do because he's the man with the gloves. But unfortunately, I think they realized it halfway through when the ball was up in the air that the umpire had called it a no ball. So the fast bowlers here of Gallian really struggling with their feet. On their landing. I wonder if it's got to do with the conditions of the ground or maybe not wearing the right kind of shoes. It's going to be another free hit. So giving it away here after a very good start, picking up that early wicket.
Muazzam Hayat will face the free hit. And he smashed this just over the mid-off. Carved away. They'll pick up 2. So Gallian Cricket Club, they're not doing themselves any favours with these no balls. It will be costly in the long run.
Yeah, just defending 164 runs. You can't afford to make such mistakes. Regular no balls. Taking the catches, but unfortunately, it was all for no balls. So Waqas Ahmed will want to put things right. He bowled well so far, except for the no ball and that 1-6 that he was hit for in the first over.
Good delivery on a length, beautiful punch. Lovely hands through the ball from Muazzam Hayat. He's pleasing on the eye when he plays his shots. Excellent balance at the crease. Looks to be a touch player rather than a brute. But in this format, in this kind of conditions, sometimes you need a brute, Samir.
Well, you got to say there should be a balance between the two. You need one guy at least in your team who can have that touch and try and bat the 20 overs. I can think of a Pathum Nissanka who does that for Sri Lanka. That's
Short
nicely
delivery, pulled away behind square. And that will hit the fence in absolutely no time. He was ready for that short ball and played it very nicely all along the carpet.
You see that most successful teams have that formula going for themselves. It's nicely played by Muazzam. Nicely swiveled across it, made sure he played it very fine. So there's no fielder there. The fielder that is on the leg side is a deep mid-wicket, but he played it more of a square leg region. You have to have that one guy who tries to bat the 20 innings, anchor the innings, and the rest of them, yes, they can come out with that brute force and bat with him.
Absolutely. It's all about combinations, game plans. Shot. Smash to extra cover Hafiz Kaleem there. He's continually had Shy's at the stumps, perhaps trying to get that ball scruffed up or wet. It's not going to help his fast bowlers or his spinners, to be honest. And like you mentioned, well, one of those players who adopted that approach very early was a former captain of Sri Lanka, Mahela Jayawardene. Used to open the innings and played those elegant, correct shots, but at a very quick strike rate. Aiming stump to stump there. That's a better delivery to bowl to Muazzam Hayat. Just coming in with the arm angle. 28 for 1 at the end of 3 overs.
.28 for 1, Gallian Cricket Club chasing in fact it's Karwan CC who are 28 for 1. They're chasing 164 for 5, posted by Gallian Cricket Club. There'll be a change in the bowling now. Let's find out who it is.
Ahsan Shah coming in for Saifullah Noor, who was clearly struggling from this end. Gentle outswinger, squeezed away to point. He's another skillful operator with the new ball. Will get the ball to just nibble around. Not quite as quick as Saifullah or Waqas, but certainly a very good option.
Yeah, you need to have that nippy kind of bowler. Not express pace. As long as he can be consistent with his lines and lengths, he'll be successful here. But on grounds like this and in this format, as we always repeatedly say, like a tape recorder, that the margins for error are very minimal. He gets it wrong, he will be punished.
And he threw the kitchen sink at that one, Kamarawan, but just swung away from him, looking to be aggressive. I think that's the right approach. Get ahead of the required run rate early on in the chase, then you will have the bowling side under pressure, Samir.
And I think this partnership will probably revolve around that discussion that we've been having, Ahmed, about that one player being the touch player who looks to bat the entire innings and the rest of the batters come and bat around him. And that role in this team, I think, is going to be played by Muazzam, the left-hander, who's looked very elegant. He's played some very nice-looking strokes. But Kamarawan, we've seen him play one big shot already, that six of Waqas Ahmed. But he'll be the one doing all the aggression.
Cracked hard, straight to the fielder. That was timed very well indeed. Unlucky not to hit the gap there. And there you can see current run rate and required very close to each other already. 3-dot deliveries so far from Hassan Shah.
It's been a good start by Gallian. They haven't picked up wickets, yes, but they've kept that run rate in check. They haven't allowed Karwan to really run away with this innings.
Flicked onto the leg side. Pretty safe. They had the field set deep for Kamarawan. He already made that statement with that big six down the ground. Given his leg pies though, didn't get any bat on it. Interesting.
One might also call this approach a bit smart from the batting team, because they've seen how when they were bowling, when the ball became old and soft, it was much easier to bat. So they don't have to take those big risks now. They're already on par with that required run rate. Just punish those loose balls and then batting becomes easier.
Just onto the pads of Muazzam there. I think this is a matchup that will suit Hassan. He has that shape of the outswinger to the righty. That would be coming into the pads of the left-hander. So if he can get it around mid-lane leg, pitch it in line, I think he might be in business here.
Now we thought the batters will want to go after him, but so far he's bowled a brilliant over. Hasn't given away anything except for that one leg bye, which won't be recorded against his name. Let's see if he can finish off well here.
Onto the pads, clipped away for one. So it's a steady over from Hassan Shah. 30 for one at the end of 4. Saifullah Noor back into the attack, change of ends. And immediately creamed through the covers. That's a glorious hit from Muazzam. Not going to hit the fence. Sandeep Singh Sandy will catch up to it, but they will pick up 3.
He's played some nice looking strokes, Muazzam. Every time it's been full, he's been very quick to get onto that front foot and drive on the offside. Looks very elegant doing it. Saifullah Khan, after that troublesome first over, tumbled over a couple of times, is now back into the attack.
Yeah, let's see how he goes about it from the academy end. Was certainly struggling with his footing underneath from the school end. Yeah, that's much better. Quick single. And they'll make it in time, will it? Or is the direct hit going to be taken upstairs? Umpire Zargham thinks he's alright. Qamar is a very good athlete. And don't see it being sent up here. Let's take a look.
It's very nicely done by the fielder. They pick up an underarm throw, get it straight to the stumps. The umpire didn't think that was out, and rightly so. Was quick on his feet, Qamar.
Good old school umpiring from Zargham. Usually these days we see they don't take any chance at all, send it upstairs immediately. I feel that's a tad lazy. You should be good enough to watch the ball when the run out is executed, and good work there by Zargham. Short ball pulled into mid wicket. There's a big gap there, and touch and go, it will go. Just kissing the boundary rope for a boundary.
Inconsistent again from Saifullah. He was full the last couple of deliveries, drops it short. He knows his fielder is up. Still the power play, remember. Just got one fielder in the deep mid-wicket region. And when you bowl there, you're inviting the batter to hit anywhere he wants. He could have hit that on the offside if he wants to, but he chose that big gap down in the long off region.
Yeah, that just shows you a man in form. That ball wasn't supposed to go in that direction. But he's feeling good about his batting and his technique tonight. 22 of 16. Tucked into that square leg region. And with Karwan, he'll run hard between the wickets as well. So it's a good combination, I feel.
And I like this approach from these two batters. They're not going gung-ho from the start because they know it's a very gettable target on these conditions. They don't have to go ultra aggressive against the new ball, especially. All they need to do is just settle down. They will get those loose balls because remember, Gallian are searching for wickets. If they want to stay in this game, they'll need to keep chipping and pick up those wickets. And the more they take those singles and keep ticking that scoreboard, the more they'll frustrate the Gallian bowlers, and Gallian will go looking for wickets. That's when the loose balls will come.
Oh, that one going across. Karwan there. The off cutter there. Perhaps from Saifullah. Good piece of bowling.
And that's all he needs to do, Saifullah. Stay on that length, because we've seen throughout this evening that every time the ball has pitched on that good length and stayed on that third and or fourth stump line, the batters have found it difficult to get going. It's old school test match bowling is what's needed here.
Yeah, a line and a length. Consistency. That's the name of the game. Unless the batter does something out of the box. Repeat of that delivery, and it's a dot ball repeated as well. 39 for 1 at the end of 5. Ehsan Shah continues from the school end. Steady first over. Wonderful slash behind point. That's the shot of the night for me. Muazzam Hayat.
He can't get more beautiful than that. A left-hander staying on his back foot and beautifully gliding that past the point fielder, behind the point fielder. In fact, fielder at third man stands no chance. What a nice looking shot. And as you rightly said, shot of the evening so far.
Well, these left-handers, they just look that much better. Classy shot. All along the carpet. Nothing wrong with the delivery. Brilliance of Muazzam Hayat. And tucked into the leg side. That's excellent. Wide ball batting. You hit an early boundary, and then you just settle down at the non-striker's end. Let the big hitters take over.
Yeah, we've been talking about what a smart approach this is from the batters. Yes, without too much risk, they've gone on to 44 for 1 in under 6 overs. So it's been a decent start. They've lost only that 1 wicket in comparison to what happened to Gallian earlier this evening. They were down in the dumps, 28 for 5. It was a partnership that was their saving grace, giving them that respectable total of 164. But Karwan know that they don't have to be too aggressive here.
Yeah, you bat the 20 overs, you'll win the game. It's as simple as that. Qamar slightly more watchful tonight, 11 of 14. That's the added quality he gives you. He can bat in an orthodox fashion as well. Doesn't just need to biff the ball all over the place. He can do that holding role as well. Play the ball on merit.
And it looks quite effortless, his batting. You see, you have some batters, they make batting look very laboured and it's a lot of hard work. But Karwan seems to be the kind of batter who makes batting look very easy and lazy.
Yeah, has that languid style about him, doesn't he? And this time he's swiped it towards cow corner. And waiting for the umpire signal. It's a biggie. 50 up for Karwan.
Yeah, nothing lazy about that. A big old school heave down the leg side. And that'll be another 6. Second one for Karwan. Swinging his bat with all his might.
Just over the boundary rope there. He's gauged that Ahsan Shah looks to bowl just on a length outside off, so why not take a chance in the power play? Outside edge past the keeper. And the deep third could barely move. It's a boundary on top of the 6.
I got greedy, didn't he? He saw that he went for a 6, was quite comfortable. He assumed that Ahsan is going to go straight again. Went for that big heave again, but all he got was that outside edge. Nowhere near the keeper. And I'll get another boundary. So this over becoming expensive after that first good over by Ahsan. In this over alone, he's gone for 15 runs.
Yeah, you need to be street smart as a captain. You don't need to stack up your bowlers' overs. You need to assess the match situation, keep rotating them, keep them fresh and keep the batter guessing. Perhaps just telegraphing. And that has been expensive. Bowled him! Gone right through the gate. And Ahsan Shah gives him the send-off. That one nipped in off the deck. A peach of a delivery to get a batter in form.
Well, there's no better way to come back as a bowler after being hit for a 6 and a 4 than to rattle the stumps of a man in form, and that is Karwan. A 6-4 and then out. He's gone for 21. Gallian will feel like they're back into this game. 54 for 2.
New batter coming in is Amir Hamza. He'll be at the non-strikers end, and there's going to be a change in the bowling as well. Abdul Hafiz Afridi, introduced from the academy end. So the door has slightly opened for Gallian to get back into this game, thanks to Ahsan Shah. And tucked into the leg side. So it's going to be the battle of the all-rounders. Amir versus Hafiz Afridi.
Something about that name Afridi, isn't it? It comes with a very heavy reputation. 55 for 2, Karwan. They'll feel like they're comfortable right now, chasing 164.
Well, things can change very quickly indeed, especially if Abdulaziz Afridi can get it right here. Amir Hamza, very fine player, given the key position in the batting lineup, number 4. Off the back foot, squeezed into the leg side for 1. Are they going to push for 2? No, it's the bowler himself herring after the ball. So he gets off the mark quite safely. Current run rate 8.8, required is exactly 8. So we're dealing in 8s. Feels like it's going to be a tight game, a close contest.
With 27 or almost 27 overs into this game, Ahmed, and I've just realized we've had only 5 overs of spin. 4 overs from Tariq Mahmood and another over from their captain Babar Iqbal. But other than that, it's all been pace and medium pace.
I think we'll see the left arm spinner Mudassir Ali for Gallian. Clipped into that mid-wicket region. They feel the setback is set back for Muazzam Hayat. He is the key man now. He has to farm the strike perhaps and keep this run chase ticking along.
Yeah, I like him. He has this very busy attitude about himself. Doesn't like to be on strike for too long. Every time he's hit the ball, he's hit it with intent. And he wants to hit them in the gaps, run those first ones harder. Those are all signs of a very good, intelligent batter. And he's got the shots to match that.
Down the leg side, perhaps striving for something extra. And extras will certainly help the men in yellow along.
Amir Hamza comes with a reputation. He'll want to be the guy hitting those big shots. Muazzam, now that he's survived about 7 overs, will want to be the guy that anchors this innings and looks to bat the 20 overs. Because as you said, if Karwan bat the 20 overs, they'll get to this target with ease. Another wide. In fact, there's an appeal. Maybe touch something, probably the pad, because the umpire hasn't signaled that a wide.
Well, they've at least convinced him not to give it as an extra run. Perhaps just kissing the knee roll there of Amir Hamza. Hafiz Kaleem in the ear of his bowler, telling him, mate, you have to start outside off. Let them try to hit the ball down the ground if they can. I've set the long off and long on for you. But you need to bowl the right channel. Behind leg, you will be carted for runs. Misfield at extra cover. And it's the captain himself. That's a poor effort.
He never looked comfortable getting to that ball. Almost a laboured effort by the captain there at extra cover. Nicely driven by Hamza to get off the mark. Muazzam gets back on strike. 1 more ball coming up in this over. He's bowled well, just that 1 wide. Otherwise, he's been very disciplined, Afridi.
Yeah, he's a good option to have as a 3rd or 4th seamer. Consistent. Bowls stump to stump. Of course, now that dew factor is kicking in. You can see the bowlers are slightly struggling to grip the ball. And with that, you will get those wides down the leg side, spoiling a decent over from Abdulaziz Afridi.
Yeah, never easy when the ball is wet. Struggling to grip it. As you can see, the bowler still wiping his hands. Afridi there. Coming round the wicket to the left-handed Muazzam, who's looked very good. He looked in very good touch this evening. Want to go on and bat for a long time. Make sure he gets his team over the line here.
Foolish delivery, just softly played into the offside, and he'll keep the strike as well. 61 for 2. So as we were expecting, Mudassir Ali, the left arm spinner, coming into the attack. Well, the matchup doesn't favor him. What will Muazzam's approach be here? Slightly outside off, shouldering arms, looking pleadingly at the umpire, but he said no. It's a fair delivery. Umpire Asif Iqbal, a well-known face in the UAE domestic scene. He goes downtown, long off, beyond his reach. It's gone for half a dozen.
I was about to remark that I'm not a fan of captains holding back left-arm spinners to left-hand batters. But if you are a bowler at any level, you have to be confident enough to bowl to any batter. But on this occasion, it's not that slog sweep that has got that six, but it was full straight and down the ground by Muazzam.
Good timing on that shot. And smart batting, just pushing the one now. And Amir Hamza, he couldn't care less which kind of spinner is on. He will certainly take a chance.
Muazzam has shown some really good signs here. Every time he's hit a boundary, he's almost made sure that he's pushed the next ball into the gap and crossed over for a single. That's very intelligent batting, especially when you aren't chasing too much. It's a very good ploy.
Fired in down the leg side. Good take by the keeper. But once again, the soft runs being conceded here by Gallian will cause them a lot of heartache down the line.
Mudassir too, so far hasn't found any turn. At least we've not seen any turn off the track. Unless he's just pushing it in and not really looking for turn. Might be two there, but no, the fielder at deep mid-wicket runs in fast enough to clear that off. And just a single to Hamza, which brings the left-handed Muazzam on strike again.
Yeah, he was willing to push for the two, but erring on the side of safety. I think that's the right idea. You don't want to let Gallian back into the game with a soft dismissal, because Muazzam Hayat is batting really fluently. 39 of just 26 deliveries, and he's taking the game away from the men in black.
Yeah, this is very intelligent batting here from this pair. 71 for 2 without much effort in the 8th over.
Pushing for two here once again towards mid-wicket. And settling for one. 11 off the first over from Mudassir Ali. 72 for 2. Abdul Hafiz Afridi continues. Fuller length delivery. Amir Hamza, well, he's pleading with the umpire. Where is my wide? And I think it just tailed away at the right moment. It has been given as a wide, is it? Yeah, not given as a wide. Off the back foot this time, just working the gaps. And I think that's all you really need to do. Required run rate below 8. You can always pick up those big shots from Amir Hamza when required.
Yeah, and that's why this batting is very good from Karwan, because they know that they don't have to take any risks. And also, if they do take those risks, they lose the risk. They have the possibility of losing a couple of quick wickets, which will then bring Gallian back into the game. Right now, they're going about very nicely in this chase of 165.
This time, getting that ball to hoop around, given as a wide. Like you mentioned, this pair just trying to build a partnership. They've added 20 runs together. But a hint of reverse, perhaps. What was that from Abdul Hafiz Afridi? Take a look at this one, Samir.
It's a movement late after it pitched. And mind you, Emma, they've also seen Israr and Amjad bat earlier. They've seen once you're in and once you've got your eye in, how easy it becomes to bat. And that's what they'll be thinking of doing. Just stay there, get a measure of the wicket, watch it well, see all the bowlers, and then play your shots when you're ready.
Completely agree with you. As long as you are out there in the middle, conditions always get easier, especially with the wet ball. The ball would tend to slide onto the bat better. You can time your shots. You can look to be aggressive. So Gallian need to make something happen here. How can they pry out a wicket, especially of Muazzam Hayat?
Well, the pitch is giving them nothing. It's become very easy to bat on now. Muazzam and Hamza both have looked very comfortable, very regularly rocking on to that back foot every time. Every time they've pulled the length back, pushed it onto the gaps and got those singles. And every time there's been a loose delivery, Muazzam especially has driven it so nicely. This time though, it's straight to the fielder.
Finally, Hafiz Kaleem manages to block the ball. He'd been giving away a few poor singles with some misfields. And yeah, that punch off the front foot was played with a lot of conviction. Steady over from Afridi, only dealing in ones. So that's one way to build some pressure. And that's one way to release the pressure. Extras. Safir Tariq, the keeper, looking frustrated.
Yeah, not easy to bowl with that wet ball. We've seen in this time of the year, most grounds in the UAE will have that dew factor, and always teams bowling second will have that disadvantage, but it's about how well you can control and grip and make sure that you give away as less extras as possible.
Good looking punch to that cover sweeper. Muazzam will retain the strike as he moves into the 40s. 78 for 2 at the end of 9. Mudassir Ali continues. Oh, it's a big shot once again from Muazzam. It's hanging in the air and will be taken at long on. Well, that was a senseless shot to say the least. And he's paid the ultimate price with his wicket.
Just when we were talking about how intelligently these two have been batting, Muazzam chose to go aerial there. Got all the elevation, but none of the distance. Straight to the fielder there, deep mid wicket. In fact, more at long on. And that will be the end of a good innings from Muazzam Hayat. Controlled this innings quite well until he played that shot. He's gone for 40. 78 for 2. 78 for 3.
Sardar Behzad coming in at number 5, another big striker of the ball. But they don't really need big striking. They need a partnership. Oh, he struck on the pad. Big appeal. And umpire Zargham has said no. In fact, it's umpire Asif Iqbal. I think there's an inside edge there.
Well, if there wasn't an inside edge, that looked very, very close. That looked dead to me, at least from the naked eye. I'll tell you what, he was very lucky there.
Inside
Behzad.
edge for sure. And trying to slash that hard behind point. Playing a few too many shots here, Behzad. Just kick it down the ground for one. Get off zero. Mudassir Ali, well, he's proven to be a game changer. Tucked onto the leg side. And that let Sardar Behzad breathe a sigh of relief.
This is a big opportunity for Gallian to get back into this game. Hamza, still relatively new to the crease, he's faced just the 8 deliveries. It was Muazzam who was doing all the heavy lifting for Karwan. And now with 2 relatively new batters on the crease, this is the moment that Gallian need to seize. They need to apply that added extra pressure and not bowl wides to begin with. Don't give away those freebies. Apply that pressure and prize out another wicket, and maybe they'll just come back into the game.
Well, 11 extras already gifted by Gallian. How telling will that be? Tucked into the leg side, Sardar Behzad was imploring his partner to push for 2. Amir Hamza content with 1. Current run rate end required are absolutely neck and neck, Samir.
Yeah, that wicket has given a window of hope for Gallian suddenly to come back into this game. If they can prize out one more here.
Oh, it's a bottom edge. Well, that's unlucky for Mudassir Ali. But Sardar Behzad could care less. No chance for the short third. 85 for 3 at the halfway stage. Take a look at that. It was pushed in and just that bottom edge. How unlucky.
Afraid he will come back. Ooh, that's a nice delivery. That's a nice line to bowl, inviting Hamza to go for that expansive drive on the offside. But still at that little bit of movement for Afridi.
Yeah, a gentle out swinger. Chased it. That could have easily been nicked off to the keeper. So he's just getting that ball to fiddle around even in the 11th over.
This time much straighter. Pushes it down to mid long on for another single. Hamza hasn't looked extremely comfortable here. He's got 8 of 11. Hasn't had too much strike when him and Muazzam were going. It was Muazzam who was doing all the run scoring. Sardar, yes, with that boundary in the last over, that under edge that ran away to the third man area for a boundary. Other than that, he's also relatively new. So again, Gallian will have to capitalize from this situation. That required run rate is 8.17. If they can push that to above 9.5 and get it close to 10, at the business end of this innings, there will be some thrill and excitement. The quick single. Slight misfield there by the field at square leg.
Well, you can see the frustration on Abdul Hafiz Afridi's face. The fielding has been very substandard from Gallian. They need to have the right personnel in the right areas, especially in the inner ring.
Afridi has bowled well so far. 14 runs of 2.5 overs. Shorter this time, it's gone. It's pierced that gap between point and third man. Very nicely placed there. He didn't look to hit it too hard, Hamza. Made sure he placed it to perfection, and that's a much needed boundary.
Well, how quick is this outfield? He just nudged it into the gap. And short third had no chance, couldn't even get close. And once it beat that inner ring, no way you're gonna pull that in. Classy boundary from Amir Hamza. He moves into double figures.
Just when we were talking about how well Afridi has bowled so far, and that too wasn't a bad delivery, just that the placement from Hamza was really nicely done.
Yeah, that will have the bowler tearing his hair out. I bowl a good delivery, back of a length, and you've just nudged it past the point fielder for 4. Well, that's a full toss. Another misfield, but long off will clean it up. So how do Gallian get back into this game? This partnership has grown to 14, Samir.
Well, we talk about the dew factor on this ground, and until you see or even touch the ball, you don't really realize it. That ball was coming towards us here in the commentary box, and I could almost see the water spiraling over the white ball there. So that's how wet it is down there, the grass. You can excuse the bowlers for bowling so many wides on the second innings usually. It's very hard to grip a wet ball like that. That's in the air for a while, but the fielder is unable to cut it off. In fact, that's gone in the gap. Although it doesn't have too much legs on it to run away to the boundary. There'll be 2 runs there to end the over. 11 overs done. 94 for 3. The left arm spinner continues. 1 for 18 of his 2 overs. Nicely nudged down behind fine leg. Just a single. Good effort there by the fielder.
Well, another bowling option that Gallian could have is Amjad Gul himself. He bowls exactly like Boom Boom Afridi, quickish leg spin. But I think in these conditions, it'll take a very brave man to bring on the spinners, apart from Mudassir Ali.
That's another quick single. That's something they've done very well all night, Karwan. They've pushed it in those gaps and they've taken those quick singles. Mudassir Ali again bringing out that towel. So very wet ball here. And you're right, bringing a leg spinner in conditions like this where it's very hard to grip the ball, it's going to be a risky call. Looking for that quick single again, Hamza. But the fielder is quick to get to that.
Well, exposing all 3 sticks there. Amir Hamza looks like he's feeling pretty comfortable at the crease. Can Mudassir Ali just sneak in that arm ball like he tried against Sardar Behzad?
This time much more solid there. Hamza pushing it down to the leg side for another single. So he's looked to do that. He's looked to rotate the strike. Generally, you associate Amir Hamza with those big shots, but today he's been very circumspect, pushing them in the gaps and getting those singles and twos again. He realizes that the way to go on this track, chasing 164, is to do that.
Well, every run is being cheered by the Karwan dugout. This match is slowly but surely developing into a thriller. And even this hard running between the wickets in humid conditions can be very energy sapping, Samir.
But Gallian's fielders now have to realize that these singles that they're giving away, that's what needs to be stopped, because if they want to build some pressure on these batters, that's one way to do it. Darted in again. Hamza comfortably pushing that to the fielder at long on for another single. Good over. 12 overs completed. It's 99 for 3. 99 for 3 in 12 overs. Karwan chasing 164 is put up by Gallian Cricket Club. It's Sardar and Hamza who are the two batters for Karwan, and Waqas, the opening bowler, left arm Waqas, is back into the attack. His captain will desperately want him to break this partnership and pick up another wicket. Oh, that's a gift. That's a gift from two sides. First, the bowler for bowling that full toss, and second, that fielder at fine leg for making an absolute meal of it.
100 up for Karwan, and that's a very poor delivery indeed. Meat and drink right through the drawbridge there from Hasan Shah. And I like the attacking intent of this bowling change, but immediately Waqas Ahmed is onto the pump, conceding a soft boundary.
Again down the leg side, but this time just a single for Hamza. Will cross over to the non-striker's end.
Yeah, they're not pushing for those hard twos, are they? 61 needed of 46. Surely they cannot make a meal of this run chase here, Samir. Things are under control.
Yes, but that's why Gallian, if they want to come back into this game, they need a wicket very desperately. That's a good line to bowl. That's where he needs to be consistently. He's got the fielders in the circle. He's got a point, extra cover. Square leg is inside, and if he can keep bowling it there, stitch together a few dot balls, maybe bring that gap between the runs and balls to about 25-30.
I'd like to see them bring that deep mid wicket in, cut off that easy single onto the leg side as well. Try to build that dot ball pressure like you said.
Easy single there, down to fine leg. But you can't stop that, because once you've strayed down the leg side as a bowler, it's almost always an easy single. So 60 off 44. Standard chase here. Should be easy for Karwan if they keep batting like this.
Well, certainly looks quite academic in terms of numbers, but then it is the pressure of a run chase. Anything can happen. Back of a length, just bunted past point, and well, the deep cover took his sweet time to get around to it. They will pick up an easy two.
He had a lot of ground to cover. That was played behind point, and he had to come all the way from deep cover. But luckily for him, the batter didn't hit it too hard. It was rolled around the ground. Still, they get 2 runs there, Karwan. So 58 or 43. Now that gap needs to widen for Gallian to try and make a game out of this. And for that, they need dot balls, not these singles and twos. That's in the gap. He looked to drive that, didn't get the sweet part of the bat. It hit the edge, but he won't mind, because it's beaten that fielder at third man and run away to the boundary.
Well, desperately unlucky there for Waqas. Genuine outside edge, but all along the carpet and in the gap. And with short third up, in fact the third up, it's always going to be a boundary. Nelson on the board.
Mudassir will bowl out now. Mudassir will bowl out. It's the last over of his 4-over quota. Oh, that's against a run of play. A wide delivery, and he stumped. The umpire tells the batsman, yes, my dear, you have to walk out because you've stepped forward. And the wicket keeper, very quick glove work there. Brilliant.
Absolutely sensational wicket keeping by Safir Tariq. It was a nothing delivery, sliding down leg. Sardar overbalanced, and yes, you have been stumped, young man. Back to the dugout for you. So another twist in the tail. It's 111 for 4. Well, this is a very interesting move. Tariq Mahmood, the spinner, has been sent in at number 6. I'm not sure of his batting capabilities. Perhaps the matchup, left-hand batter. Well, let's see what he tries here. Ball flat onto the pads. Smart bowling from Mudassir Ali. He wasn't flighting the ball, inviting that big shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was a left-hander coming in because the spinner is a left-armer, but we haven't seen any turn, Ahmed. So I'm not sure what the idea was, unless, of course, Tariq Mahmood backs himself to really tonk the ball and finish this game in a hurry, because the longer Gallian can drag this game, the more chance they give themselves. Quick single, that direct hit would have had him in trouble. Wicket keeper got to that very quickly and a risky single there.
Oh, his goose would have been cooked. He was struggling. Wonderful athleticism by Safir Tariq. Once again, it was that arm ball. And he set off immediately. Tariq Mahmood, he's not even in the frame. Yeah, he's made it. His throw wasn't powerful enough.
He's cut that away, but the fielder at point got there just in time.
Good fielding by Israr. He needed to make that stop. Otherwise, it would have been 2 runs, if not a boundary. They're tightening the noose here, Gallian Cricket Club. This match is building up very, very nicely indeed.
That's a good ball. Darted it in outside the off stump. Tried to cut that away, Tariq Mahmood. It's been a very circumspect innings, especially from Hamza. He hasn't looked really for those big shots. This time there's some flight. No single.
Well, that's a superb spell from Mudassir Ali, especially bowling with the wetter ball. 2 for 24 on the night. 113 for 4 with 6 overs to go.
Ahsan Shah, the right-arm medium pacer, has picked up 1 wicket and he's back into the attack. Oh, that's a nice ball to start off your spell. Yorker, right on the money to a tall Hamza who got down just in time.
Yeah, this is good bowling. Important 2 overs from Ahsan Shah need to be thrown down. He's a steady bowler. I think they have 1 over remaining of Saifullah Noor or 2. Waqas Ahmed has 1 and Abdul Hafiz Afridi, I think he has 1 up his sleeve. Driven hard down the ground, and it will be interesting to see Tariq Mahmood's approach here. Has he been sent in to occupy the crease or go after the bowling?
I'm not sure if they can afford to occupy, because that required run rate is for the first time tonight has climbed up to 9 runs per over. I'm just confused trying to figure out the approach from Hamza here. He hasn't looked for 1 big shot this evening. He's been happy. He's been content with playing those singles. I don't know if it's a strategy or a ploy for him to try and bat the 20 overs and the others to come around him and play those shots. But I'm very surprised with the way he's gone by so far.
You can see the Karwan CC dugout in the background there. Slightly on tender hooks. This game is getting close. And Ahsan Shah, very meticulous with his field setting. He wants them in just the right spot.
Again, driven with ease down to the field at long off. Tariq Mahmood tried to push for a 2 there, but it's just a single. You look at this game and you wonder how important was that partnership between Israr and Amjad. Really brought Gallian back into the game from the jaws of defeat almost.
Yeah, 28 for 5 at one stage, then an unbeaten stand of 136 runs. Fabulous effort, fabulous rearguard action. Big shot down the ground, but Amjad Gul is a very safe fielder. I've seen him take plenty of blinders in the outfield.
It's been a good over so far from Hassan Shah. Just given away 3 runs now. I think now's about the time that one of these two batters has to decide that they need to step on the gas. 2 of 5 Tariq Mahmood, 29 of 25 for Hamza Amir. Those strike rates need to go up now, because very soon that target may suddenly seem out of reach. Down the leg side, another wide. This has been the problem for Gallian. Every time they've looked like they've applied some pressure, it's been released by a delivery like that.
Well, the extras is their worst enemy right now. More than 12 to 13 runs gifted to Karwan Cricket Club. Subtract those and this run chase would look very, very different indeed.
Round the wicket, Ehsan Shah. He hasn't got all of that, Tariq Mahmood. Just chipped it over down at deep mid wicket for just another single. So again,
just dealing in ones. This has been a very good over from Ehsan Shah. Gallian Cricket Club, a lot of experienced campaigners, seasoned veterans, and they know exactly how to bowl in this kind of match situation. They just slowly but surely building the tension in the Karwan dugout.
pushed to extra cover for another single. So a good ending to Hassan's over. Didn't give away too many. 15 overs done. It's 119 for 4.
Well, 46 of 30, that is the equation. It's a pretty standard run chase in T20 these days. Let's see if the men in yellow can hold their nerve. Well, a change in ball was necessary. This wet outfield had completely spoiled the seam. So the umpires taking due action is going to be Abdul Hafiz Afridi to bowl out.
That's pushed away to the leg side. They look for a double. And Amir Hamza not interested once he got to that non-striker sense. So this is the business end of the match now. 45 required of 29 balls. They'll need a couple of boundaries here, Karwan, to ease the pressure on themselves. Singles and twos. Gallian won't mind those. All they want to do is protect those boundaries. And for that, Afridi and the rest of the bowlers will have to bowl a very good spell here if they want to finish this game victorious.
Oh, brilliant fielding of his own bowling there from Abdul Hafiz Afridi. Every dot ball is an event here. Every ball is an event, in fact.
Yeah, with every dot ball, that required run rate keeps climbing up, now at over 9.5. Karwan will worry that they've left it a little too late. Showed a lack of intent in the middle overs. We're happy with those ones and twos. Speaking of a lack of intent, Tariq Mahmood, we were wondering why he's been sent. The moment there was a short ball or loose delivery down the leg side, he swivels across and deposits that to the boundary down at deep square leg.
Well, that was a half tracker asking to be dispatched, and Tariq Mahmood climbed into it all the way for a priceless maximum. Well, the ball has been lost thanks to that mighty hit from Tariq Mahmood. Once again, the pendulum swings, and he's practicing that front foot drive. Well, that was nothing like it on the previous stroke.
Well, they needed that, didn't they? They desperately needed that six to release some of that pressure. They dug themselves a hole with some of those dot balls. And now, suddenly, the required run is down under 9, and one more boundary here is what they'll be targeting. Afridi will have to be very careful here. He's given away that 6. We want to finish this over well.
3 deliveries remaining in his spell. Back to the bowler, he's fumbled it, but there's still a dot ball. They're not going to take a chance on Hafiz Afridi's throw, and he looks absolutely soaked. How stifling is the humidity out there now?
And they're wearing black, these Gallian cricket players, so they're attracting a lot of heat anyway. We know it can be very humid out there under lights, but he's bowled well, Afridi. His numbers may not suggest. Low full toss there, driven straight to the fielder. Just a single. There is an overthrow though. There is an overthrow for which they'll come back for another run. So it'll be 2 runs off that delivery.
Well, that's very poor game awareness there by the deep square leg. Why were you dozing? You knew there was going to be a shy at the stumps. You had to come in to back him up. It's just doing the basics here that Gallian are not doing right.
Tariq Mahmood taking his time now to get into stance. Afridi is a very important last ball coming up in his spell. Look to finish off with the boundary, Tariq Mahmood. Full, driven on the offside, and that'll go straight to the boundary. Nothing too wrong with that delivery, but that was a splendid shot by Tariq Mahmood.
Well, it was slightly overpitched, and he's just smashed it through extra cover. Not a fielder moved. And an expensive final over from Abdul Hafiz Afridi. 132 for 4. Karwan Cricket Club on the doorstep of victory.
4 overs to go. Karwan required 33. And it's Saifullah back into the attack. That's been hit on the leg side. Be another couple of runs to the total now. 31 required of 23 now. It's a very important spell here by Saifullah. He struggled in the first spell. Tumbled over a couple of times. Changed ends. And bowled a couple of loose deliveries as well. But here, if Gallian are to make a match out of this spell is going to be very important from Saifullah.
Yeah, they need 2 incredible overs, to be quite frank, not even good ones. They need to see the back of Amir Hamza first of all. He holds the key to this contest. Tariq Mahmood batting well as well, 15 off 11. Oh, he's flipped it around and it beats the deep square leg for a priceless boundary.
That's what happens when you have pace and you err in line and length. Any little bat the batter can get, all he has to do is just get some bat onto it, and the pace of the bowler will do the rest of it to get it to the boundary. And that's exactly what Tariq Mahmood did.
Well, that was a drag down, wasn't it? On midland leg, and easy pickings for Tariq Mahmood. It was an inspired choice to send him in it at number 6, and it's worked off big time. Required run rate has come below 8 now. Certainly game in hand for Karwan CC. Back cut, but straight to point. They're going to push for the 1. And not even a throw from Hassan Shah because there was nobody backing up the throw.
Yeah, too risky for him to have tried that. He could have had a shy at this time, but he knew it's going to come with a lot of risk. We can't afford to give away extra throws now. The required run rate, as you said, is now back to 7.71. So they've been able to accelerate towards the end of this innings. Quite slow in those middle overs. Maybe they were just confident that they can bring it down towards the end, because bowling in these conditions, not the easiest.
27 run partnership for the 5th wicket. Oh, it's gone up in the air. Fielder will not get to it. And they'll pick up 1. And it's a no ball. Can you believe it? Gallian Cricket Club once again making a hash out of this.
They've always given away those extras at the very wrong time. Once again, that required run rate was coming down. The batters were settling in, and just when they needed to be a bit more tight, they've given away another extra. And to make matters worse, the next ball will be a free hit. So Tariq Mahmood, look where he's standing. Outside his off stump.
25 runs away from victory. And he's gone downtown. And he's going all the way for 6.
Big heave down at long on. We were wondering why he's been sent. Well, there's your answer. He can play shots like that and completely take the pressure off these chase. And for the first time tonight, that required is now below runner ball. 19 of 20 required. This should be a walk in the park for Karwan.
Well, it was an inspired choice to send him in at 6. And it could be a match-winning choice. Saifullah Noor, he struggled throughout with his front foot, with the landing of his feet. And he's been carted for 34 runs of just 2.4 overs. Is this game done and dusted here, Samir?
Well, if he's going to play shots like that, it's definitely going to be done and dusted. But there's a fine fielding effort there in the deep. He ran in across to his right, a long distance covered. He's able to save 2 runs for his team.
Good desperation in the field there. It was asking to be slapped over point and duly obliged. And he's done really well there. Sandeep Singh putting it all on the line. Still working hard in the field. Good to see.
That's nicely done. Last ball of the over. Best is to get that single and get on strike on the next over. He's the one that's informed. He's the one that has been hitting those big shots. 17 overs completed, 149 for 4, just 16 more required.
So Ahsan Shah coming in for his final over. He's done a decent job. 1 for 22 on the day. Tariq Mahmood on strike. And they're just doing it in ones now. Excellent running.
Took an early start there. Amir Hamza is ready to run that single wherever Tariq Mahmood was going to play that. It's good awareness from his side. He knows the fielders are on the edge of the circle. Never going to cut it off, the single. And now that Hamza's on strike, that fielder on the leg sides. One is down at deep square leg, the other at deep mid wicket. Long on, long off, and deep extra cover.
150 raised for Karwan CC in the end. They've done it relatively easily. 15 needed off 17. They control the destiny of this game. Trying to be a bit spectacular there, Amir Hamza. That paddle over the fine leg, not quite executing it.
It's past midnight here in Dubai. So Amir Hamza too, trying to see if he can go home early tonight.
Yeah, he has that ability to power the ball down the ground. Just trying to be a bit fanciful there.
That's pulled away. It'll be straight to the fielder. But they've defined their roles well today, Karwan. From the time they've come out to bat, they've come out with a plan. Initially, it was Muazzam who looked to bat the 20 overs, but in the end got a little greedy and went for that big glory shot. But Amir Hamza then took over that role of staying on, making sure he anchored the innings. And then those around him, especially Tariq Mahmood, has been given the license and the liberty to play his shots. And how well has he done that tonight? Oh, that's a nice bouncer. Went over his head. Had to bend a bit, so won't be called a wide.
And not given as one for the over either. So Ahsan Shah just trying to take this game as deep as possible. Keep his side in it. And perhaps use that short ball once again. Fine leg is up though. So I think he'll think twice. Or is it worth the risk at this stage?
Yeah, a short one again. But the fielder at deep square leg will cut it off for just a single. 13 of 13. Now run a ball. Should be a regulation chase here for Karwan from here onwards.
Well, they don't want it to go till the final 6 balls. So one big hit here should settle affairs. Amir Hamza, he's been in there for a very long time. A sedate innings. 34 of 31. And he's held it all together. A good show from the star all-rounder. And this time the paddle has come off. This time it will rocket into the fence for 4.
Well, he intended it to go over fine leg, but in the end it was too straight. All he had to do was get some bat onto it, and it's gone over the keeper on the third man's side. He won't mind which way it goes though, as long as it goes to the boundary. So 156 now. Just 9 required of 2 overs. 18 overs done. 156 for 4. Waqas is back and he's been hammered past behind him, and a catch is taken. Finally a wicket for Gallian Cricket Club, and it's that man who's been hitting the boundaries. Tariq Mahmood, looking to finish this match in a hurry, has hit back one straight to the fielder at long on. The fifth wicket goes down for Gallian. Tariq Mahmood goes for 31. It's 156 for 5 now. Right then, Ghulam Murtaza comes out to bat, comes with a reputation of playing some big shots, but can Gallian come back into this game now? They've picked up a wicket early on in this penultimate over. 11 balls to go, 12 runs to win. Waqas Ahmed will run in. The fielder jumps over that. There should be a comfortable 2 there for Ghulam Murtaza. In fact, they'll steal 3 there. That fielder at deep mid wicket took a long time to get to that ball there. So good 3 runs for Karwan, gets them closer to that target of 165.
Well, now they're just one big blow away. Amir Hamza steadied the run chase. Muazzam Hayat gave them that early push in the power play. And Gallian Cricket Club is on the brink of defeat. Oh, big swipe towards mid-wicket. There is the fielder out there. And they're pushing for 2 on the throw. Excellent running by Ghulam Murtaza. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, this is good. They don't want to bring it to that last over, try and finish it off in these remaining 3 balls of Waqas Ahmed. Because in T20 cricket, the longer you drag it, yes, you have a chance of winning. But when you can nip it in the bud, you nip it in the bud. 4 to win of 9 balls. Hamza will try and finish it off in this over as Waqas Ahmed runs in for his last over.
He's paddled it, and that will seal the deal. Unbeaten 44 for Amir Hamza, and that's game, set and match for the men in yellow. They romp home by an easy, comfortable margin of 5 wickets, and this was the winning hit.
What a fine innings this has been from Amir Hamza. Initially it was Muazzam, and then Amir Hamza took on that role of anchoring, and he did it to perfection. Was supported by Tariq Mahmood in the middle. Played it very smartly. They knew the target of 165 was gettable in these conditions. It's always difficult to bowl second in these grounds that have so much dew. Very difficult to grip the ball, and in the end, Karwan chasing down at 165 with 8 balls to spare. Thanks largely to that start from Muazzam Hayat, 40 of 30. Karwan also chipping in, 21 of 18. But in the end, it was Amir Hamza who stood there until the end with a good little cameo from Tariq Mahmood, 31 of 20 for him. 15 extras. Gallian will look back at that and think that they need to be a bit more disciplined with their bowling if they are to defend totals like this. Well, as for the bowling, Gallian Cricket Club, they did keep picking up wickets at regular intervals. 2 for Waqas, 1 for Ahsan Shah, and 2 for Mudassir Ali, the spinner. Probably the pick of the bowlers, the left armour. But otherwise, it's been a disappointing effort, especially because of the extras. You see those wickets column, they kept taking them at regular intervals. But in the end, that 164 was just not enough in these conditions. Was always going to be chased with relative ease. Karwan, having that reputation of being a good batting team, got there with quite the ease that they are reputed for. Gallian Cricket Club put into bat first by Karwan, who are in deep trouble, 28 for 5 at one point, but it was Amjad Gul and Israr Ahmed that resurrected that innings with a superb partnership, 81 not out for Amjad and Israr Ahmed with 46 not out. The left armers created all the havoc. Sir Shiraz Ahmed and Salman Salim at the top for Karwan CC, and then it was their batters who cruised to that target of 165 for 5, in the end winning the match by 5 wickets. The next match coming up here will be Pacific Group versus the Mideast Metals, which will be tomorrow here at the ICC Academy Oval Grounds in Dubai. This is the ICC Academy Arabian League, which is being broadcast to you live. Right then, in a short while, we'll be joining Ahmed Khwaja for the post-match presentation down in the center.
नहीं वो खिच कर ऐसी Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we welcome everyone to the post-match presentation of the SkyX.net ICC Academy Arabian Cricket League powered by FanCode. Before we begin, firstly, we would like to thank the ICC Academy and all the administration involved behind the scenes for its support in hosting this level of a tournament. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, our title sponsor SkyX.net, our official streaming partner FanCode, and our event partner TCM. In the of the tournament, Karwan CC has defeated Gallian CKT by 5 wickets. Commencing ahead, we will now be announcing the name of the player of the match. The award will be presented by our match referee, Mr. Iftikhar Ali. And the player of the match award goes to Amir Hamza for his innings of 44 not out in a tense run chase. He held his nerve and took the side home, including the winning runs. Amir, very well played. At one stage you had them at 28 for 5. But then that big partnership between Amjad Gul and Israr. At the halfway stage, did you feel that the score is still chaseable?
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, in the middle of the ground, we were feeling about this. Like we give them extra runs and catches. But end of the game, we done very well.
And of course, we know Amir Hamza is a big hitter of the ball, 6s and 4s. But tonight, you played a very composed, a very mature innings.
First of all, thanks to Babar Iqbal who given me this opportunity to play up to the orders, and he told me just play with the condition. So I just played my normal game and I done it.
And now 2 wins out of 2 for Karwan Cricket Club, looking to go all the way in the Arabian Cricket League this season.
Yeah, our morale is very high, and we're looking forward to lift this trophy for this tournament, inshallah.
Well, outstanding performance, Amir. Well played.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, that's the star all-rounder of Karwan CC, Amir Hamza, taking the team home with a composed 44 not out. That's all from the Arabian Cricket League tonight. Join us tomorrow for more live action. We'll see you then. Good night.